Do, 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 do.
I will say I've never met anybody who can do so many things at one time, Lizzie.
She's
Yeah,
a multitasker.
that's from having 5 kids
I'm sure it is.
and a husband and multiple preschools at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting on to the show before the show here. Let me see.
I used to drive my kids crazy because I'd be like, I don't do everything 100%.
Right.
Like, it's not perfect because I can't do all of it. So I do all of it good 92.5%.
That's not bad.
So, but yeah, I can't do one thing at a time perfect anyway. So I overcompensate by the mass amount of stuff.
Good morning, Derek.
Ben is in the house.
I love the merch outside. Can't wait to get it.
I can't.
We're working on balls in my court.
I know.
Derek and I spoke yesterday. I have to get the tax ID, and we figured out how to do it finally.
Well, the tax ID you have, that's your federal tax ID number.
No,
you need your
we need a sales tax ID. It's not the EIN number.
No, I know that, but that's the Missouri one. That's
correct.
Yeah.
I have a federal, not a Missouri.
Correct.
The government. They
got to tax you somehow.
Yeah, they're going to tax you crazy. Crazy. It's the show before the show. I just heard my voice.
I was like, what was that?
That was me not turning down my phone. Hi, Derek. Yes, I did, Kimberly. He's a couple years younger than me, but we both did go to Francis Howell.
That's a bad chair, dude. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'll buy you one for you.
I've got some other ones at home.
I think that's the chair Vic fell off in the show.
Oh, really?
May have to grab a stool from Winty's.
Oh, we got plenty of them.
Yeah.
Plenty of stools.
Hey, Joe. Oh, he's on the phone. I saw what I'm getting for Ben for Christmas. I just sent it to. It's a Friday. Welcome to the show before the show, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well on this Friday. I forgot to wear my Mizzou shirt today. I was so damn tired. I couldn't sleep last night. I was going to wear.
Yeah, you should have worn
my MIZZOU shirt. Oh, Kimberly. Oh, yeah. She's in Jackson. Our Jackson Indians play them on football tonight.
Oh, wow.
Play who?
Oh, Francis Howell. She's talking about Francis Howell earlier.
Oh, that'll be a damn good game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are 2 outstanding programs. I'm calling Jackson in the upset. If it is an upset, it is an upset because they're a smaller school. I think they're a smaller school. Anyway, Kimberly, I forgot you're Jackson. What a great area. They love their sports. Jessica says, ooh, I listened to a podcast about these park disappearances. The media and government don't ever tell us about this.
Correct.
Hey, Jessica, could you join us during the 9:00 hour since you watch that? Because you know more than us. We're trying to bring light to it, and that's what we do on the show.
Yeah, make sure Jessica's
If I sent you a link, could you jump in on the show with us during the 9:00 hour, or do you have something like one of those things called a job?
Well, maybe you can just skip your job for that hour. That would be great if Jessica.
Seriously,
she is
let me know, Jessica.
Smart lady.
Just quit your job and be on the
she
show.
She really investigates.
Good morning to you, Les. Good morning, Angie and Kimberly, Derek, Mary, of course, Jessica, Mandy. Good morning to you. And who else do we have on here? Woohoo, Vic. Yes, thank you. What is that about? Oh, Jackson. Yeah. Just that community. And what I was talking about is student athletes. They do such a terrific job in Jackson. Coaches, families.
It's a great
You guys
town.
vote. You guys vote all the school bonds in. Because I was talking yesterday the importance of public schools. You've got to stand up into public schools, and that's why I've always been a big believer in passing the bonds for schools. I'm a big believer in it. I know older people don't get into it. They don't pass it because they don't have kids anymore. But that's how your school districts grow, thrive. Your real estate thrives, grows. It does.
School, security, and shopping. You do those 3 things, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, and St. Louis City has none of them.
No, they don't.
not the city.
That's
Actually,
not
I think 2 or 3 of the high schools were rated top high schools in America just this week.
Where?
Um,
What school? It was Clayton.
No, city.
It was I saw one of them, I think, last year. By the way, it's Ben Conn with us, one of the owners of Wendy's. Also, I say one of the owners, his wife, Marla. Also, Ben is here today to talk to us about it's an interesting book ban. He and his organization just beat the state of Texas. You may or may not agree with book bans or whatever the case is, but I love Ben's point of view. He's also one of my best friends, and he is a big reason why this show got started. And business, well, he doesn't like me to say it, but business mentor.
Yes. He's very humble, too.
Beer drinking companion.
Those are the best.
That's where we get all the really good work done.
That's right. Right.
Usually watching
2
a
beers
game.
in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Vic. So 2 schools, best in the country, Metro Academic and Classical High School.
Yeah.
The Collegiate School of Medicine and Bioscience.
I'm not familiar with the second one.
I'm not either, but those are both in the city. So city has something going for it still. I mean, two out of 6 schools that are left over.
Those aren't funded by taxpayer dollars.
I don't know if they're
those are charter.
No,
or
they're
special schools.
Yeah, I think it's still government money.
I'm trying to remember. I'd heard something about that.
And then the usual list of, Ladue and Lafayette and, the rest of the
Clayton.
Jessica says she can't. She's doing respite care for a doctor.
Okay.
And she signed a non-disclosure and she's not allowed to video. So she has to throw the phone down periodically.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it.
I understand that. Well,
then our
if she
show
ever doesn't.
May not, it'll suck for. Hey, Jessica, if you have any information you can add to our 9 o'clock hour, please do so, whether it's putting it on the chat line or whether it's letting us know privately that we should talk about. Yeah, Rockwood schools are always there too. Yep. I agree. They do. They get a lot of credit. Yeah, congrats to my Mizzou football Tigers last night. They won 35-10. The head coach put a backup quarterback in the second half. He shouldn't have. He should have kept St. Louis's own Brady Cook in for the whole game. Hopefully that happens next week because their schedule starts to get a lot more difficult than South Dakota. Kansas State is nationally ranked. Big 12 defending champions. So it'll get a whole lot more difficult than South Dakota. Hey, Joe, did you see that sweatshirt I sent?
I did, yeah.
You did? I sent you a picture.
Yeah, do you want me to pull it up?
Yeah, if you could check out that picture really quick.
Sure. It's up on the screen. All right.
You got that. Once you get it. Oh, you popped it up already. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what you needed.
That's all right. That's guys, check this out. These are apparently selling out at Costco. I don't know if it was a marketing ploy where they're like, "Oh, we can't keep them in stock," but those Costco sweatshirts are selling out.
I'm not sure that I would buy one of those. Would you?
I don't know, Ben. There's your Christmas gift.
There
or
you
your
go,
Hanukkah gift
I
right there.
always wanted a Costco sweatshirt.
Yeah.
That's right.
You could get one with
really
but you could get a shirt. You could do a cancel this sweatshirt like that with it all over Wendy's. I kind of like the design's kind of interesting. It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, they had a really creative graphic designer on that one. Let's just put the name everywhere on it.
Or that happened by accident. They're like, oh.
They meant to print the invoice, but they printed it on the sweatshirts. Now they have 12 million sweatshirts, and they're going to market.
That's kind of how Reese's came together. The chocolate accidentally fell in the peanut butter. And then we had heaven. We had chocolatey heaven, dessert heaven. They do. They look like pajamas. There's no doubt. Those things look like pajamas.
Maybe they're comfy.
Oh, they probably are. Derek, can you do it in the merchandising?
Derek, can you make a Costco shirt?
Okay.
I bet there's copyright rules for that.
I'd rather Derek walk around with Costco pizza and bring it to us.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay. Hey, Joe, we can go ahead and start the show, bud. Get it going on a Friday. Hey guys, welcome to cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo, talking with Ben Conn in just a few moments as well about a book ban in Texas. Glad you're kicking off this morning with us as we end the week. It is September 1st. Into September, baby. The 197th show of Cancel This.
Yes.
We lost a show this week. And then Monday, we are going to re-air, if you have not seen it, or just to watch it again. We're going to re-air the Antarctica show.
Yes. Because
that was James Moore, J.R. Moore, was super, super popular. If you didn't see it, if you didn't see the entire one, we suggest you do that. So we're going to do that Monday. So technically, it would be Tuesday, Wednesday, next Thursday would be our 200th episode, our 200th live show. And we look forward to that. So I guess we'll do something. I don't know. We'll figure out something. If you guys have ideas, let us know. This show is as much about you guys as it is us.
Absolutely.
If anybody has ideas, jump in, tell us. This is cancelthisshow.com. Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. Thank you for sending the stars. You can send those stars on Facebook. Like, subscribe, share the show when you check out the website. Of course, you can go in and check out whatever platforms you want to jump on. All kinds of platforms to watch. And once again, forgive me, Lizzie. Are we live on Cloud Hub or not? Do we know?
Yes, we are live on Cloud
Hub.
But hardly no one watches it live. They watch it after the fact. And for a while, it was our number one show. But Facebook has way overtaken Cloud Hub in the last 2 months. And so has our listening podcasts, the group of podcasts like on iHeart, Spotify, Apple, all of that. They've just come racing past Cloud Hub in the last 2 months. And our numbers have gone way up.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Like to hear that. That's a great thing. It is a free-for-all Friday and coming up at our 9 o'clock hour. Did you know that between and I know it's a 600 total. I've seen totals of 1,000 to 1,600 people that disappear in or around U.S. national parks. That blew my mind when I heard that stat. Now, many people are recovered, or people find it, but there are so many of the most bizarre, wild cases with people vanishing without a trace in and near these national parks.
Yeah.
What's at play there?
How much money do they owe?
Is it our
that makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Is it our government? Is it aliens? We'll get into that. Here we go again. Are there really UFOs? Are there aliens? The Pentagon now releasing through a new website classified pictures and videos that nobody's ever seen before of UFOs, unidentified flying objects. Does that get you excited? Is it a new toy? Look at this while everything else crazy is going on in the world. Look at this so you don't see everything that's going on with an election. I don't know. We'll talk about that as well. We're going to get into that. Lots to get into today. It is a free-for-all Friday. We love your comments. Be a part of the show. We love it when you can listen in, whether it's live or not. However, when you can jump in live, it's awesome. Jessica says, it's called Missing 411 by David Paulides. I've been checking him out. I was doing some study. She says, however, there are now imposters out there pretending to be him or skew his information. I've also seen some of that. So thank you. We will get into that a little bit later for that as well. Aaron says, podcast suggestions for the week. Tucker, Portnoy podcast, Joe Rogan pod, Oliver Anthony. Yes, Oliver Anthony was reading the Bible on Joe Rogan's podcast. That was from 2 days ago. So that was interesting to see as well, to see Oliver. And Oliver Anthony, I had no idea. Either Joe Rogan's 5'2" or Oliver Anthony's like 6'8", because these two standing together are like, they're different atmospheres of where they are. This is Cancel This Again, cancelthisshow.com. All right. We've got Ben Conn here. Ben, the reason I'm one of the owners of Winty's, one of the best places around. We watched the Mizzou football game there last night. People don't know because I've been trying to get you on the show to talk about book bans. First of all, if you could say the name of your company, what you do, and then you were first in an article with CNN. Is this what started the whole?
Yeah, it's all part of it. This has been going on for some time. So,
and then we'll get into your opinions of book bans and where we go because you're a book publisher,
right? So in my real life, I'm the president and CEO of a company called the Classroom Library Company, and we distribute and publish books that ultimately go into K-12 schools and libraries all across the United States. In addition to that, I'm the president of my trade association, the Educational Book and Media Association. And that is an organization that represents all of my fellow competitors, publishers, and so on and so forth, about 200 members. The state of Texas decided that there was too much, not the state of Texas, a particular representative decided that there was too much porn or inappropriate sexually oriented content in schools and libraries. So they tried to pass a bill called HB 900 to limit or to eliminate those types of materials. The problem is it becomes subjective. And for example, Lonesome Dove, which is a classic in Texas, it has some areas where it could be intimated that there's sex going on and so on and so forth. So it's not black and white.
It's called Lonesome Dove.
Yeah.
So it's not clear as day, black and white.
It's not. Sex and there are books that are clear
and they're
as day.
Kids books?
It's from K to 12. So it's not just, we're not talking about first grade books. It's usually really not problematic books till you really get into 7th, 8th grade where it becomes a little difficult. And there are some books that are inappropriate for schools and they do nothing for instruction. It's pleasure reading. And so as the Texas started with these book bans and then Florida and so on and so forth, it's just become a mess because they don't know how to work within the industry to get the results of what they want. So they just go ahead and say, we're banning all these books or whatever it may be. And then you get a lot of the constitutional type organizations that get involved and they just double down and say freedom of press, freedom of everything, and it's black and white. And it's not. And in the case in Texas, it was black and white, and the judge overruled the law. And
what was the law? Now, was the law in place for a while, or was
the
law?
The law was supposed to go in place today. So this was
was this Governor Abbott?
Yes, signed the bill.
So, and what books would be banned then under that law that you guys just beat?
Any book that is not rated by a vendor. So meaning every book that, if I wanted to sell any book in Texas as a vendor, every book would have to be rated one of 3 different ways. Which means if I sell 10,000 books, I would have to hire a professional rater, which doesn't exist, to rate these books.
I was going to say, who rates it?
There's no.
How do you become a book rater?
That's part of the problem. And so
that's the law that was going to go in place?
That was as of today. And so there's an injunction. And so it's a win for a little bit. I'm sure that they'll fight back and so on and so forth.
And that would be the state of Texas?
The state of Texas.
Fighting back against who?
Against the organizations that sued the state to try and...
So one of your organizations that you're a part of sued the state.
We were friends. We didn't sue the state. We were friends of the court. And so we try to give clarity and a fair and balanced way to the judge saying, this is what will happen if you go ahead and implement this. In reality, no baloney, no politics, no anything like that. It would just become cumbersome. And then millions and millions of dollars, and wouldn't it be worth it for anybody to do business with the state of Texas? So you're talking about millions of dollars leaving the state, and there's financial implications that go along with it and all sorts of other stuff. But this is happening all over the United States, and it seems to be people with good intentions that don't know how to implement.
Okay, see, that's where I come into this because there are some books that I've seen that I'm like, that crap should not be for 7th, 8th graders reading ability. That's, my humble opinion. I know we're all entitled to our opinions. And I'm like, I think those books should be banned. If I'm a parent and I'm upset about that, do I have rights? How do you ban certain books and not ban books?
That's part of it. You have to know your population too. And a book that's acceptable in Chesterfield may not be acceptable in inner city St. Louis and vice versa.
Right. That is very well true. Where I live, and we had someone on here yesterday in the Wentzville School District. They don't want those, quote, pornographic books where, 5th graders are looking at people having sex in all different kinds of ways. However, if you go down to the Grove or sometimes Webster Groves,
that's appropriate.
They think it's fine.
That's exactly it. So nobody's looking at local community standards. They're just saying, blanket, we have to do X, Y, and Z. And that's where it becomes problematic. It's because you can't just make a decision. With such a diverse state, with such a diverse country, Could you imagine what is happening in Austin, Texas? It would be completely different than what would be happening.
Yeah, but where do you stand on it, though? Because you fought and won as an organization that was going against the state of Texas for all books to be allowed.
Yeah, well, it was yes, technically to the letter of the law, yes, all books to be allowed. My personal opinion, which is different than my professional, is that if a book doesn't support instruction, what's going on in that classroom, it probably shouldn't be there. But you have people that buy books, meaning it's not just a kid walking to a bookstore, buying a book, slipping it in the classroom and saying, here we go, this I'm going to, show everybody. You have librarians or teachers that are buying these books, or administrators, and they are not trained, or they're not buying the proper books for instruction, and they wind up in a classroom, and then a parent gets it, and then so on and so forth. So you have a problem with a vendor who's selling a book that shouldn't be selling it, or a customer saying, I want to buy this book no matter what happens, and I'll deal with the consequences. There seems to be a total lack of common sense and judgment that's going on across the board. You wouldn't take a kindergarten to go see Harry Potter. It's not appropriate.
Okay.
It's just not an appropriate thing to, it's too much for a child like that. And it's the same thing with a book. You have to get the right reader with the right book and match them up. And, there are books that it's mostly the LGBT books that are really.
Well, that's what I was going to ask about the LGBT books and CRT. Do you deal with some of the CRT issues, or do you see that happening when it comes to book bans, or is that a separate issue?
That's kind of separate. And the CRT is really secondary. It's really the red states with the LGBT type materials, and it's not appropriate in those particular areas.
So are you telling me that blue states allow LGBTQ with no issues whatsoever, but red states don't?
They do more so.
Is it really coming right down the middle of blue versus red?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. You could even see it here in the state that we live in, what curriculum is acceptable to some parents and what curriculum isn't. And, just like what you said, Ben, it comes down to common sense. But the problem is our country has lost all common sense. It is not appropriate. And I am an early childhood educator by trade, and there is no way in hell that any of those sorts of books should get in the hand of a child. However, then as an independent American, book banning, you got to be really careful, because who's going to ban it? Your government. So I think common sense is right. Okay, if you want to make that book and you want to be a pervert and you want to say all that crap and you want to read it, I don't agree with you, but you fundamentally have that right. But my 5-year-old doesn't fundamentally have to see perverts in a book.
Absolutely. But how is that book getting in that school or classroom?
Correct.
It's the teachers.
But nobody's looking at that.
But that's a teachers union.
It could be the teachers union. It could be a librarian. It could be several different things. You know how many times people donate books to school? You've gone through all your books. You don't need them anymore. You just donate it. You don't know what you have there and what you don't.
Okay, so is this an issue of, when you talk about books going into a school, do they go to a library, or are these books that are actually being taught as classes?
Both.
Because I don't know that many kids that are going to the library to find books like they have their coursework. I mean, kids aren't hanging out in libraries like they used to. They just aren't. They're on their phones or on their laptops. And are they finding the books on laptops, not hardback books?
They're finding them wherever it may be. I mean, you can go to the library and get materials that are not in the classroom. Look, the library is meant to find in all sorts of different materials for you to look at. A public library should be able to have whatever they want to have, because it's a different, type of funding and so on and so forth. Whereas a school library, you got to be really careful, because you want the materials to support instruction versus having books that are potentially problematic. Now, if we went through a whole list of books and I said to you, these are all the books that are banned, you'd be surprised at some of them, because some of them you'd say, there's nothing wrong with these. And
do you know any off the top of your head? I'm just curious.
Vic, virtually every classic that's out there.
Well, just think like Mark Twain. They wanted to ban Mark Twain books. And that was as interesting. That was the blue parents back then.
Well, I knew that. And then Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes.
We've got
Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah. Little House on the Prairie. Banned. So
but for what reason?
Native American depictions. Now, remember, culturally, back at the time, things were different. That book was written a long, long time ago. And that was acceptable at that point in time to write about those things. Whereas the same thing with Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn.
But so with Little House on the Prairie, you're telling me that Little House on the Prairie is banned because it's demeaning to indigenous people?
Yes.
because that's what was written at the time.
At the time.
But then we're erasing history too, aren't we?
Well, nobody's putting history in context and saying this is the way it was.
Well, who's going to put history in context? I don't get. I mean, Little House on the Prairie should not be banned.
What's up, dog?
How are you?
And that's why, Eric, that's why I'm like, I don't find it to be a red-blue thing all the time. I mean, all the time, even though it seems like it is with LGBTQ with book
because
banning.
It's a common sense thing, and nobody has common sense.
Right? They don't.
Nobody has common sense in America anymore.
They don't have common sense.
Good
And you know
morning,
who's
Eric
picking
Johnson.
those books? In the public school situation, who's doing that typically is there's a committee. So the administration in every building picks people in every school to pick the books.
Sure.
And they're often the educators. Yeah, they're the school board too, but it's often actually the educators put these
Very
books.
rarely is it the school board. School boards
Right,
will decide on
it's
the
the
overall
committee.
curriculum.
And you don't think CRT had anything to do with this?
I don't think so.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Because man, when I was a kid, we used to get our porn out of the dumpster when the kid would remember that when the dad would throw his Playboys away. That's where I got my when
That
we were
was the
kids.
good literature, though.
Yeah, I got to ask you this.
I saw the first one in the woods.
Yeah.
I was like, uh-oh.
I was like, and now thinking back on it, it was the wife found it and they threw it away. Is basically what it was. But what is the content of this stuff? I've always wondered that. So let me just, I'm at Belle Reve Elementary School or whatever, and I'm in 9th grade. And all of a sudden now, like you said, because I was listening coming in, what do the pages look like? Is it graphic of a female grabbing a male? Is it a compilation?
In some cases, a female grabbing a female. Or I mean, there's
open your mind, Eric.
There's some pretty,
seriously, I can't.
there's some pretty off the wall stuff. I mean,
Because-
there are some things that are definitely inappropriate.
And that's what our kids are seeing, Eric.
Right.
And the schools, girls and girls and guys on guys. Can you imagine that back in the day? What would you have done with that Playboy in the woods if you saw a guy on a guy?
I don't.
Lizzie,
What?
Lizzie?
I'm just saying, what would you have done?
A lot of what's called graphic novels or graphic literature are really on the fence.
Okay, well, so why can't a parent just say, it's a Wednesday night, it's the school board meeting, and I get to go to the library and pick up one of these books and go, hey guys, what's up? Let me just show you a little thing that you guys have in your library, and just start opening the pages and showing it to the board of directors or the board members. What do they say?
Some of them get kicked off out
know,
of
they
board
sh-
meetings.
they
It
shut the
happened
mics.
last week.
Yes. Yeah.
Last week in it was Texas or Virginia, a man took his 3 minutes or whatever he had at the school board meeting and started reading from the book, and they kicked him out. He was drug out by security.
Don't you think that that's a good quantifiable standard that I should be able to read this to you at a school board meeting?
Yes.
If I can't do that, then it's probably not. It shouldn't be in a public library.
I tell my members all the time, just because you can sell something doesn't mean you should sell something.
And by the way,
that's my opinion.
you're the president of a national organization. What's that
The
organization?
Educational Book and Media Association.
So you determine you've got minions all
Yes.
over the country. They come, they listen to.
And some of
Papa
them
Bear.
are as left-leaning as possible, where there just is no light. It is, we have the freedom to produce this, and that's the end of it. And
And they don't care about kids.
I think they care about kids. I think at the end of the day, they really care about selling books. So,
Okay.
what's the hot button issues these days? So
Do you-
why is there so much of this content coming out? Somebody's buying it.
Well, it's exponentially getting worse. Do you remember back in high school when I don't know. I went to the same high school as her. Do you remember when they had at the sex ed class, they had a big uproar about putting a condom on a banana?
I remember that. I remember sitting in the class
my
and the
And
health
the
ed
parents
person came
were
in.
pissed.
Yes, they showed us how to
I never
do
got
it.
that class.
Oh, I
You
got
didn't?
that class.
Not in school.
Eric, you got that class?
We just got lectured
That
in
was
New
at
York.
homecoming
Yeah.
dance.
I remember she
bananas in
came
New York.
in with the banana and she actually took the condom and
Oh,
I didn't even
Lizzie.
know they
Oh, okay.
existed. And she put it
Be
on
careful,
the
Lizzie.
banana and I went home and told my dad. I mean, she did. I mean, it was, I
It's
was
a
like,
true story, though.
This
Ninth
is a free for all Friday, by
Yeah.
the way. We're going to get a little wild and crazy
Yeah.
today.
Well, we don't need to
Balls.
because. Did you just say balls?
Well, I was doing her drop.
balls.
Oh,
Do we still have her drop?
Balls.
okay. Can you bring one of these books in so I can just see
I'll-
it? The worst one that you can
absolutely.
find. The worst one that you can
Sure.
find.
Bring it in for next Friday when Eric comes in and
Yeah.
show him the book
Okay.
and make Eric read
I'll-
what the content. Yes.
I'll bring you a
read
bunch
the
of them.
content.
I'll
Please
bring you
do.
a bunch of them.
Let's.
Yeah.
I have such a great idea.
Okay.
Just so we
let's
can
hear it.
document this stuff
Okay.
on cancelthis.com.
Yeah.
We should read the raunchiest thing that Ben can find
Yes. Let's do it.
for a chapter. And we should role play it. You can be the
next
French
Friday.
maid. You can be the French
Yeah.
maid.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well,
No, we do
Glenn
need to
Thompson's
do
like,
it.
this is a family show.
No, but we do need to
Put
do it, and we
your
can.
hands over your sweet boy's ears.
As a disclaimer, people do need to hear what's in these books, and we're not FCC regulated. We're a podcast. We can read it.
We got to do it.
We have to do it.
Yes.
Next Friday, we're going to do it because
No banana in the tailback.
more than a banana in the tailpipe. I think we should.
And we're
I
making
like
fun
that.
of it, but it's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
That a 12-year-old
Yes.
can get in.
Yeah, but nobody's really talking about the problem. They're just talking about this getting to the hands of the kids.
And you say the problem is
what is that process?
Where
of
is
how
it
it's getting there?
Great question. If you had to estimate, who is the guy in the really dark, wet, damp room that basically says
leather mask?
that's cool to have in the bondage area? Who cares? Who's
Sad.
I'm serious
There's
question.
many people. It's not.
I mean,
one.
is this the NEA? Is this the good people?
No, these are the publishers that are producing content that they think that their readers associate with.
Okay.
And so I'm not saying it's appropriate for a school. That could be great for a Barnes Noble. You go in there and you buy whatever you want. But that's where we are in this
For a
country
kid,
right now.
doesn't this kind of fall into like, well, it's a public library. We should have How to Make a Bomb for 8th graders. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, what is appropriate to show to certain age kids?
You got me. Mein Camp isn't banned.
Yeah.
Because as a publisher, you're not creating books, right? You're not creating content, are you?
Distributor.
We're a distributor.
You're a
and we
distributor.
do create content, but we are creating content on how to use the books that we sell.
Okay. That's where you have teachers, librarians, whatever, grabbing a book with not having, I guess, authority to do so and just saying, we're going to implement this into our
authority. They just might have not great judgment.
Okay.
It's all subjective.
It's crazy.
Because you also have cross-dressing, transgender, men and women, whatever, non-binary, in positions in schools. And in their mind, they think it would be great to show and cross-dress and do a book like that for a young child.
Right.
Is that possible?
Of course it's possible. It doesn't mean it's right, but it's possible.
Okay.
Wow.
So the book,
and I think it's
the
happening.
number one banned book in America right now is a book called Genderqueer.
I've heard of that.
I'll get 3 copies for you.
It's the number one book?
Banned book.
Oh, number one banned
This
book.
is pretty much what every book banned. This is the poster boy for books being banned. I'll bring in for you, and then you can make your own decision about where it is, if it's appropriate.
No, let's
where
read
it
it.
should be.
What do you think about genderqueer?
I've never read it.
Let's
so I
read it
don't know.
together. I'll bring
I'm
marshmallows.
all for it. Yes. You bring marshmallows
Yes.
and we'll bring, like some, fun food
Yes.
and we will actually do it. I think it needs to be done, Eric. And I know it's going to hurt some people's ears, but people do not understand what is going on.
Do you want to really get nuts with this?
Yeah.
And make it an international thing?
Yeah.
We should have kids read it and us just kind of fall back.
Oh,
and
could
say,
you imagine?
And say that it would be quantifiable. You could say this is in the Parkway School District.
Mm-hmm.
It's available right now to rent or to check out.
Yeah.
And we have here Denise and Samuel, and they're going to read a few excerpts from this book that's available to your
I don't know
kids.
if their parents would.
No.
want them doing
Why
that.
not? I think that
I would let my 14-year-old do it because she's old enough to know how disgusting it is.
And Genderqueer came out in 2019.
Right.
A graphic memoir written and illustrated by Maya Kobabe. It recounts Kobabe's journey from adolescence to adulthood and the author's exploration of gender identity.
I got to see this.
I'll get it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it became the number one banned book in schools.
Pretty much banned book in the United States.
Okay.
Schools, libraries.
Is it still in schools?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's where I'm like, damn, I don't even know what to say about it.
Well, I agree with Eric on that because every time somebody goes to the school board and tries to read it, they shut their mic off, they kick them out, whatever, and no one is able to get it out. No one can get it out.
Remember when Tipper Gore started reading?
Oh, the PMRC with the music.
Well, remember when she read that with her little frilly dress in the front of and then you were like, this is a joke.
Times have changed.
This is Tipper Gore reading frickin' some rock band lyrics. You need to have the people who are going to be affected by this stuff reading it so that you get the impact of what it's going to look like. If we start reading this up, we're just going to look like a bunch of crazy old people reading porn. That's all it's going to look.
That's the funny part. Motion pictures have a rating association. Video games have some sort of ratings. Music, for the most part, does, even and so on and so forth. publishing and books don't. And the reason why is number one, nobody wants a rating on it because it's your freedom to go read whatever you'd like to read. And
yeah, but that's the same with music and movies.
Wait, let me finish. And the sheer volume of what comes out in publishing books, I'm not making this up. There's probably 100,000 new books per year that come out.
Damn.
And,
wow.
And and nothing exists. There's no mechanism that exists to say that this book is rated PG, PG-13.
So when you leave the show today, is that what you're going to go do? Go create a ratings company?
We were this close to it because if that's the way that the country's going to go. And, I just don't know. The way that Texas rolled it out, that's not the right way to do it. But I don't know if there's really a way to do so.
There isn't a right way now. There's no, from what you have told us, and I love your perspective on it because you're not a hardcore right winger. You're not a hardcore left winger. You own a publishing company. You're the president of a national book organization. You just beat the state of Texas in a lawsuit, and you're giving us your perspective where it's your job to do this, but you don't always agree with some of the books that are there for kids. But it's not the publishing company's fault. It's the teachers and the people who are bringing this into the schools.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately.
Yeah, there's porn out there too, but that doesn't mean you have to bring it to your kids.
Yeah.
That's true.
True.
But we live in a very, very diverse country now, and it's very partisan. And even having these conversations with people are difficult.
Well, see, there's a problem.
You're so far this way, and everything needs to be banned, and there's laws that you need to protect everything. And it's funny because whenever the government gets involved with anything, they're going to screw it up. Mm-hmm. And if you leave it up to private industry, we went to the state of Texas and said, we will work with you as a private organization. We'll solve your problem, but work with us to figure it out. Yeah. We'll get you your ratings. We'll get you whatever you need to be, whatever you need to have done. And they said, nope, go to hell. We like the law the way it is. Mm-hmm. And it just.
And what's the name of your publishing company again?
Novel Units is our publishing company. And
he said units. We need to work on that.
Yeah.
Units.
He's got a big unit.
Absolutely.
Where do you see this going, Ben?
It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I mean, this is going on in the state of Florida.
Well, you said
Missouri.
Partisan. That's the problem. This is not a partisan type of thing. You know what?
It shouldn't be.
Partisan is, do we spend money on social programs or do we not spend money? Do we spend money on the military or on potholes? That's partisan stuff. This is morality stuff. This is kind of like, parents, you're in charge of your kids. We don't want to infest them with this kind of stuff. Wait till they're 18 years old, and then we'll have our say with the 18-year-old.
Absolutely. That's how you feel. There's some parents that drop their kids off at the library and say, go pick out whatever you want.
Yeah. As their drag queen lady is, man, guy, whoever, is sitting there reading the book they go pick out.
Right.
And parents don't have a problem with that at all.
No.
And some do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, it is interesting when some of this stuff happens because we hear of issues happening. You need to go to school board meetings. I agree. I think.
Well, we've talked about this privately and just about how parents are not as involved as they should be, and that they pick the wrong fights on other things. So when a district is deciding what curriculum they're going to implement, there's crickets there. Nobody cares. They just trust the school board to do it. And then when they bring this in,
not anymore.
And then it winds up being something they don't like. Then everybody's up in arms saying, "Why are these books inside here?"
This is such a great example of how, as a community individual,
and when you get done saying this, we've got video of a dad getting cut off reading a book. We're going to show video of a dad. Oh yeah,
it's just
at a school board meeting.
You just got to be ahead of everything. It's like the mayor and the governor of New York, the sanctuary city this, sanctuary city that, but they didn't have the forethought to think what's going to happen when we say this stupid garbage. You're going to get 100,000 illegal aliens. Same thing with the parents. You need the forethought to know what's going on right now and where's it going. You better get your ass inside of those rooms and talk to those board members and say, that little cushy little salary that you're getting paid, it's going away.
Absolutely.
Well, Derek says this happened in the Rockwood School District as well. And I don't know what school district this is, but check out the dad trying to read the book that he gets cut off at a school board meeting. Oh, it's in Asheville, North Carolina.
Last name is Amanchukwu. It means I know God. And I'm glad to say that I do. I'm here today to talk about this book here. My name is John Amanchukwu, as I've stated earlier. It's called It's Perfectly Normal for Students 10 and Up. This book details all kinds of sexual images, pictures of elderly people nude, pictures of an individual who's in a wheelchair with his penis out. All of these sexual pornographic images are made available and placed at the fingertips of children. And I'm sure, Dr. Cruz, I don't know if you knew about this before you signed on, but hopefully this is something that you can address and deal with, because this is immoral and asinine to allow children to be able to see this. Also, this book even shows images of two women having sex, a man and a woman having sex, and two men having sex. That's not perfectly normal. Who decides what's normal? Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Or do parents decide what should be placed at the fingertips and allowed to be taught to their children in the school system? I'll read some of this for you. It says, after a bit, a person's vagina becomes moist and slippery, and the clitoris becomes hard. After a bit, a person's penis becomes erect, stiff, and larger.
Pastor.
Sometimes a bit of clear fluid that may contain a few sperm comes out of the tip of the penis and makes it wet.
Can we, sir, I'm sorry.
Was it something I said? Was it something I said? If you don't want to hear it in a school board meeting, why should children be able to check it out of the school system? You see, we have perverts that are perverting our kids. And you all sit back smug in your chairs and celebrate diversity, equity, and inclusion, but you don't want me to read it so you can hear it. Why? Does it bother you?
They cut off his mic. That's why he's talking like that.
You can't answer that question. You want to know why? Because politically speaking, you can't say that it's wrong. You probably are a Christian man. But many Christians today have become more Democrat than Christian.
Watch out.
Some Republicans have become more Republican than Christian. I'm not trying to win an election. I don't get my talking points from the RNC or the DNC. I get my talking points from the Bible, from the Bible.
Good for him.
And you don't want me to read the filth because it exposes the truth. How dare you tell me to stop reading it? If you don't want to hear it, why should the children have to see it?
Pastor, your time is up. Thank you.
That makes two of us.
Okay, powerful as that is, there you go.
And
Pastor.
And they just sit there, and that happens. This has happened all over the country, that someone goes in, their moms, dads, pastors, whoever, they go in and they start to read these books, and it's so embarrassing or it's hurtful to the ears, they just shut them off, but they don't take the damn book out.
Are there any in this area, because you can only work in your backyard,
Mm-hmm.
and Lizzie, you know everybody and then their mom. So is there any school board members that are part of a major high school, Zumwalt, Howell, St. Charles, whatever, that you know that you could bring in here to talk about it? That's like, I've had enough of this school board garbage, because they're doing it right now. I've heard about some
we
stuff
talked about
in Wentzville.
Well, no, we did a whole segment yesterday. We did about 30 minutes on school boards yesterday in Wentzville.
Is there anybody? Because what you got to do is you got to start putting these fractures inside of these school boards, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have some. There seems like they're in lockstep. Are they in lockstep? For the most part, these school boards, you don't have a lot of friction when it comes to the LGBTQ stuff, the transitioning stuff, this stuff.
I think sometimes it's the way that you deliver it. Now, what the pastor was talking about,
and that was in Asheville.
I don't have a disagreement with him. I don't know if I probably would have tried to solve this. I don't know if he did privately or speak with people maybe before going in front of the whole school board.
But who are you supposed to talk to privately?
Good question.
I think people have tried to
you
talk
have principals,
privately.
you have superintendents, you have people that are supervisors that you point things out to. Look, people make mistakes. What do you think? That you can bring the wrong book into a school. I get it. Listen, I've shipped the wrong book before, and I've gotten in trouble for it, and it was totally unintentional. We literally put the wrong book in a box. It was an honest mistake.
Okay,
it happens.
Yeah.
But I hear his pain. I mean, if they can't listen to it, why should the kids be reading it?
Right.
Or is somebody even
well,
reading?
Why
these
can't
books?
the school board members? It seems like there's when you watch these videos, and I don't know what the ground rules are, they can't at least respond back to him saying, you know what, that you make sense. It's like they take the barb and then they just sit there and go, "Thank you, your time is up."
Because nobody's going to go on record.
That's what happens.
But that's the
on every
transparency.
subject.
They, you know what? To be honest with you, the school board might be able to actually whittle this down a little bit and say, let me tell you why we're doing this. And then the explanation might give some people go, oh, okay, that actually makes sense.
Communication is a good thing.
Communication is a good
Hiding
thing.
it, or as we saw when it came to CRT, of teachers telling kids and teachers telling other teachers, don't tell the parents what we're teaching. That's bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very bad. And that's what got it all started. But I mean, it's part of what's going on.
So it's crazy. So I'll bring you genderqueer next week.
Can't wait.
And
I'll bring coffee.
I'll get it before next week, so that way you have a chance.
Yeah.
So you have a chance to put it on your coffee table for all your
you'll be able
friends to read it.
You're not going to just want to start reading this.
No, we appreciate it.
Maybe we can dress Projo up as a little kid and sit him up Indian style on the floor.
And then you decide for yourself what's appropriate or what's not.
Projo's here. Eric Johnson, Lizzie Sparks, and Vic Faust. Ben Conn joined us in studio today, one of the owners of Wenty's in the Chesterfield Valley, also a big-time book publisher, as we were talking about book bans. And, of course, your organization won a book ban against the state of Texas. I'm sure they'll appeal to
I don't think Texas is going to win. It's too broad and cumbersome. It just wasn't really well thought out as a bill, in my opinion. But
still to come, 9 o'clock hour, we'll get into where people are missing and why they go missing near national parks.
Because of bears. That's why.
Bears.
The bears. Of course it's the bears. Always blame it on the bears.
Aliens that abduct them.
Yeah, that too.
Stop it.
Dude, you know what's crazy about banning and everything else? What the hell's going? TV as we know it is done.
You know, that's
last night, and I don't know if people saw this happen or not, but you legitimately had ABC or ESPN and the other Disney markets and ABC stations literally go black right in the middle of sporting events because Spectrum cable systems pulled the plug because they're in a fight.
That's happening everywhere. I think
DirecTV pulled Fox in the St. Louis area, wherever. Fox, you can't get Fox, local Fox,
on DirecTV.
On DirecTV.
What?
And then last night during football games, ESPN goes out for people who have Spectrum.
They need to figure this out. They got to change. Look, in about 5 years, it's going to be bandwidth, and it's going to be choose what you want to watch.
Absolutely.
We're already kind of there.
Yeah.
We're getting damn close.
Yeah.
We're getting damn close to where you can pay the 99 cents to watch the Seahawks versus the Redskins or whatever.
I would prefer to do that.
Yeah, me too.
I do that in my house now. I got rid of all cable and all that. And I just have apps for everything.
Dude, I just invented the planet because that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. Could you imagine on Sunday? It's like it's a 99-cent charge. You can choose you can do $50 in games if you want
Absolutely.
to.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about what Vic just said about going to a sports bar, not being able to see Mizzou clobber whoever the hell they were playing last night.
I actually called the DirecTV guy yesterday because I was so afraid that we didn't have the SEC network on DirecTV and double check.
Yeah.
Because the Mizzou game was coming on. And I'm like, geez, everybody's going to come and want to watch this game.
Yeah. We're
going to wind up being blacked out and then I'm going to look like a schmuck. And
did it happen?
No. Thank God we did. And we had it paid for. But
so you had to pay for SEC network.
Yeah. But we had already had it in the package. Now, when football starts on Channel 2, we have TV antennas. We'll have to switch over the TVs, but we won't be able to get the local game. I think it's the Chiefs.
You mean the local Fox 2 game?
Yeah, we can't get it on DirecTV. We have a TV antenna for as a backup, but we have to go ahead and
No, but that's literally how you do it now. You put TV antennas up.
Yeah, but that's what I have.
Dude, we're back to TV antennas.
This is insanity. Yeah. You know what? I've had enough of this country. Let's go.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
The Bahamas, obviously.
The Bahamas.
So you won't be able to show but I thought it's going to YouTube anyway. I thought we had NFL on YouTube.
We do.
But your local game is always blacked out. So the Chiefs, if we don't switch over to the TV antenna at Wendy's, you won't be able to watch.
But you'll be able to switch over and watch the Chiefs because of the antenna.
Yeah.
So where the hell are you going to? Do you actually put the antenna on the TV itself?
It's on the roof of the building, and then our DirecTV guy's a really smart dude, and so he told us to do this when we bought the bar, and it was the smartest thing we ever did.
Wow,
interesting.
Donna says that's the way we get Channel 2 right now is just through a regular antenna.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the only way you can.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you got to use antennas. When I saw that happen, I was just like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Last night, I would be irate that stuff's going on. And it's got to be killing the local Fox affiliate. It has to be.
I would think so.
With DirecTV. I mean, there are a lot of people who watch through DirecTV.
Yeah. Money is evil.
It seems to be Nexstar is the big one that has a problem, like with DirecTV all over the place. It's not just in St. Louis; it's all over the country.
Yeah, it's their contract.
Yeah,
it's the Nexstar contract wherever they go, or where and it's the largest carrier of local TV markets in America.
So I think it's the whole country that's blacked out for Nexstar.
Damn, Kevin says I just have my Fire Stick and plenty of apps. I always have plenty to watch. I also have my TV antennas.
Yeah,
tons of things to watch.
Right,
because football season is we glorify it and we need it, and we buy outdoor lawn furniture for it, and we as a matter of fact, the big thing now is buying those projector screens and watching
cool.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
$99 on eBay, or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah,
you can't block our stuff out. I used to get pissed about when you would tune into Channel 5 and you would want to see the Rams versus whoever because it was a home game. I was like, I can't believe they're doing this.
Yep.
So let's. I think we need to.
Todd says $240 a month with Spectrum,
Wait a minute,
and
what?
I can't watch football.
yeah, and that's what it
That
is. That's why we got rid of it. Is because ours was over $300, and we didn't have everything either.
Is it Sunday Ticket? See, I don't know about.
Yeah,
this.
that's through YouTube now.
Okay, is that cool or is that uncool?
Nobody's ever seen it yet. We have no idea how it's going to work until that first Sunday comes on. We have no clue how it's going to work.
All right.
So Amazon has Thursday night.
Yeah.
And YouTube has the Sunday games.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what they're doing for,
Monday night.
Monday night is
ESPN.
ESPN.
That's ESPN with the Manning boys.
Yeah. So that should be interesting.
Okay.
I'm just trying to keep
I
track.
have Spectrum, and at the bar we have DirecTV. So somehow between everything,
but
I get to watch everything.
You know who doesn't give a damn about this stuff? We all sound like we're crotchety old people
Young.
trying to figure this out. Millennials and Gen Z. And Gen Z are like, you guys are old. We know how to get there. We know how to get to where we want to go.
They sure do.
This is the last generation. Think about this for a second. We're the last generation of people who actually knew what terrestrial TV and radio were.
You're right.
And we're kind of going back to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're like the Marconis of our day.
Oh my God. That just
Marconis of the day.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh well. This is cancelthisshow.com. We were getting into some of those things because we had been in, and then the TV aspect came of it. But we did have a couple things from a politics standpoint, from a news standpoint.
Let's rock.
And we had to show this. And this is regarding Donald Trump yesterday, and this is not a plant, with the former Miss Wisconsin, where she is giving Donald Trump all kinds of kudos, all kinds of credit for helping her out. And it's getting a lot of play on the internet. So here it is.
Mr. Trump, I was Miss Wisconsin USA in 2005.
Okay.
And
I can see why.
thank you. You have been, I just want to say thank you. You saved me in so many ways. And in recent years, I've been struggling with an incurable illness, and I'm on home care now. It was caused by a doctor's medical negligence. And in those dark days, fighting, right now all the tubes have been removed, and I have a do not resuscitate order, and I have a 7-year-old son. And in those days, in the hospital, I received from you a handwritten letter that said, "To the bravest woman I know." And
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
you,
Such a wonderful, beautiful woman. I mean, just an amazing woman. And are you coming along okay?
no, sir, but that's okay, because I'm here right now to thank you in person, and that was my biggest dream. And I wanted to thank you because through you and your organizations, my son, who is Mexican American, 7 years old, through your organizations, and just being able to stand on that stage with you back in 2005, the outpouring of love that came from that ultimately provided my son.
So you get to see another side of Donald Trump that you don't get to see from the media, regardless of your feelings and thoughts of Donald Trump. But that is blowing up. That video is going viral. We don't see her, but you do see Donald Trump talking with her.
And this has gone around. This is the second go around. This went out around a couple years ago, I believe, and it's going around again. And I think it's going around again because people want you to see the side of Trump that's not just what the media has. There's hundreds, probably thousands and thousands of people that he helps that he doesn't tell you about. And we know that he's, got a big ego, and I'm glad he does. But there's also a real soft side to this man. And just think about it. He's got 5 kids. And when all 5 of your kids don't have an issue with you, you did something right in this planet. You did something right.
Did you see the polls?
Is he giving him money?
Did you guys see the
Maybe.
polls in the?
But a lot of rich kids.
There's
don't
more
like
polling
their
came out
parents.
today.
There's no polling came out today.
No,
but
new polling did.
Oh, I didn't see that.
More. Yeah,
I was
more
talking
polling.
about, like this week. He's dominating in the swing states right now.
Yeah, he is.
And
not just with Republicans.
No.
With Biden.
It's crazy. And now you're starting to see the mosaic of why they're trying to do the indictment stuff. And now there's this new push to have him off these swing state ballots so that he can't even participate in the election.
Have you seen that, Ben?
Yes.
Did that get you excited?
Does that no, it gets me creeped out.
I think we're so screwed as this country between these two morons.
You don't want to see Biden run.
I don't want to see Trump run either.
I know that. And you've come on the show before, and that's why I love another perspective. You're not a Trump fan, but you're not a Biden fan.
No.
How do you win?
Okay, so then who would you pick?
Yeah, Lizzie, go ahead.
Okay, so who would you pick? There's a lot of people that are like you. Me, as everybody knows, I think Trump is a badass and was the best president in my lifetime. But I love to talk to people who don't think that because I want to know, who would you pick if you don't like Trump? Nobody likes Biden. Who's your pick for president then?
Yep. I don't know who my choices are.
No, stop.
Okay,
stop.
But there is choices.
Hold on.
And this is why it's good to have you
This
here.
is so good to have you here because of this.
I love it.
You got Joe Biden. It's November 2nd, 2024. And all of a sudden you have to get up, go get your latte, go vote, pull the lever for someone.
Sure.
Who is it? And you can't say no one because that is a
It
poll.
will really depend on how much I drink the night before.
You're definitely not going to vote for Biden. There's no way with the interest rates the way they are now. There's no way with inflation.
I know we're putting you on the spot.
No, it's not that. Listen, I never had a problem with Trump's policies. It's his personality.
Okay, great.
That's the truth. So
and you're a New Yorker, so you've had a lifetime of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know what?
And
I thought Terrell Owens was a jerk, but I always wanted him on my football team.
That's true.
When he spiked the ball on the Cowboys in the center field of the Cowboys, I was like, what an idiot. What an ass.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'd come play for the Seahawks.
I just feel sad about these are what our choices are. I was watching the yesterday with Mitch McConnell, his freezing up again.
Yeah. And he won't leave.
And I don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene either, but she had a good article the other day saying, people with these cognizant issues should really not be in office.
And there's two of them.
I actually agree.
Hey, Projo, can you get Marjorie Greene's video ready?
I don't know if it was a video, but it was an article that I read.
No, I found some other video.
What about if we
are we going to Jewish space lasers? Is that the one?
What if we agree that Mitch shouldn't be there and Biden shouldn't be there, not because
and Dianne Feinstein
All three of them agree.
And Fetterman
done.
And what if we agree that it has nothing to do with Hunter Biden or grab him in the crotch or whatever?
Done.
That they're not cognizant there.
Right.
There's a big thing I wanted to talk about on this show because it's Free for All Friday. We got to stop saying he is age compromised. He's not.
His mental.
Warren Buffett is 93 years old.
He's doing just fine.
I agree.
Warren Buffett's 93 years old. Would you take financial advice from Warren Buffett right now?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Would you take political advice from a guy that doesn't even know how to get up the stairs, Joe Biden? No. You want him gone. Not because of Hunter, but yes, because of Hunter.
Yeah.
But because he cannot put a full sentence together.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
we got Derek, what the hell is going on? This show's crazy on a Friday, but Derek,
Free for All Friday.
Get some.
Hey Ben, how are you doing? Eric, I'm sorry I can't be in the studio today, but I wanted to break in real quickly before I head out of town and let you know that the merch page is up. The merch page is up and rocking. we'll put it on the page. Joe's showing it right now. It is shop.cancelthisshow.com.
Yeah.
Shop.cancelthisshow.com. Check out all the merchandise. Get you some. We're going to do a 2-week preview. So you got 2 weeks to order whatever you want, and then we will start getting them made, getting them shipped out to you. But we're going to give you a 2-week preview to get all the merch you want to do. I want to send a huge shout out to Alex and his team for the amazing work, the hand models for the cups. If you can see my bald head back there, but there are two really good Trump shirts, and there will be going to come some more very soon. And I will have some shirts in your guys' hands next week. I just wanted to pop in, say hello. I enjoy the Free for All Friday, and give you a little bit of craziness.
Yeah.
Where have I been?
We need a
Yeah, where have you been?
we need a,
Holy shit, this is cool.
We need a Biden dartboard. If you make that happen.
Yeah,
like a
you just
trillion.
surprised me with the Donald
Actually-
Matters shirts.
Oh my God.
We just, I wore one in here, twice already
Matters.
now. Yes.
I will tell you this. There are 3 other shirts that are being made right now. I don't have them completed yet because I was just designing them. But one of them is going to be the mugshot we all wanted and we all deserve. I'll just leave you hanging on that.
The mugshot that
It's a tease. It's a
a
hot
tease.
tease. It means-
It is the mugshot we always wanted and we all deserve. That's your that's your tease.
Hey, that website looks pretty damn good. So how will this work again? You said it's a 2-week. People can go order now?
Yeah, you are. The site is up and ready to go. So you can actually go on show.cancelthisshow.com. It will take you straight to the page that you're seeing right now. And all you have to do is click the items that you want to purchase, get the sizes, different things. We got the hats, we got the tumblers, we got the t-shirts.
Something too, buddy.
Where's the
you got 2.
Good idea. Look at Ben. He's
No,
like an entrepreneur or something.
Well, he is an
Derek made 2 of them for me already. He made a Wendy's cornhole set, and then he did my company one for our new.
Matter of fact, Joe, I did not send this, but Lizzie or Vic, can you send Joe the picture?
Joe's going to pop up in a second.
Yeah, I don't get
This
Okay.
was a gift from Ben to cancel this. Check this bad boy out because, Eric, it seems so often you say things.
Yeah.
And when you say things,
We listen.
No.
They happen.
Well, then why am I not on the memos?
We want you
We've
on
been
the
sending
memos.
them to you for months. We never got a response.
You've been on the memos.
No, so we have here it is. Pro Joe is putting it up. This is one of the coolest things. So if we got a kind of way where people can come, I don't know, do you come in and play cornhole? I mean, do we allow people to come in and play cornhole? I don't
think
know.
we need like dodgeball. How about that?
Dodgeball.
At Wendy's.
That's cool.
Look at that. I love it.
Eric, check it out.
Oh,
Check out that bad boy cornhole set that we have.
damn.
Now,
Okay.
the bags,
All right.
what kind of bags? I can't even remember what kind of bags I ordered, Derek.
So we went with I believe we went with the black and the royal blue color to really accentuate the colors of Cancel This.
Okay, go ahead.
What were you saying on bags? I'm sorry.
I thought I went with like an American flag or something.
Oh yeah. No, I apologize. We did. We went with the stars and stripes. So we have one bag is the stars and the other bags are the stripes. So give it up for the old red, white, and blue on those.
Well, one cool thing about your color scheme now is it kind of looks like Air Force One a little bit.
Oh,
It does-
yeah. Good point.
It does
Good
kind of
point.
have that Air Force One. That looks
Yeah.
cool, man. I would hang that thing on my wall. That's awesome.
That'll be here pretty soon.
And you know what we might be able to do in the near future, maybe next spring or summer is talk to Strategic Air Services and maybe do a Cancel This cornhole tournament to benefit some kind of charity or something like that.
That would be great.
Love it. Great idea. Hey, Derek, I love your energy, buddy. Donald Trump matters. You came in at a great time.
You guys have a wonderful holiday weekend, and we will see you next week.
All right. Love you, Derek. Have a good weekend. Funny.
Take care, guys.
That's awesome.
Free for all Friday. We'll get into that stuff. It is Cancel This.
I'm just here for the UFO pictures, so let's go.
Yeah, I wish we had some of those pictures. We're looking
When
for
does
them
that
right
come
now.
out?
They're going to release it soon. We do have pictures of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, you got to see this.
I think she's become a CrossFitter.
What? All right, let's go.
This is the opposite of Dianne Feinstein and Mitch McConnell.
You got to be kidding me. Is she going to deadlift that thing?
No, this is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Watch her go.
Okay, let's go. What the?
Woo!
Badass. Damn! I wasn't expecting that. without a belt on, by the way.
She just dropped it. That's that. I mean, that's tough. There you go. That's what we need our politicians doing.
That was good.
Look at her. Those are deep squats.
If AOC did that, I'd say that was good. That's crazy. Good job, man.
I know.
That's what AOC did to Amazon. She lifted them right up, threw them out of New York.
There's boom.
Threw them on the ground.
Yep.
Boom. Dude.
Hopefully she's not in an apartment.
That was Marjorie Taylor Greene. If people are asking for it, seriously, Marjorie Taylor Greene doing that.
That should be, you know what? I got an idea. First of all, you have to take a top competency test to run for the Senate, for Congress, or the presidency.
And a clean and snatch.
And then a clean and snatch. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, and it has to be
Ben,
double your weight.
Ben, do you like RFK?
He annoys me too. I don't know.
Damn.
Why?
I don't know. He's just weird.
Do you like pizza?
Of course.
Okay, then.
Pizza's weird.
I mean, all right, let's stop. Because he's not gonna say anything unless.
But we need a Democrat. You need to give us a Democrat
someone.
candidate besides Biden who you can stomach.
And then you got to give us a Republican that you can stomach. So here you go.
I'm having a problem on both sides.
Come on, man.
I am.
You're smart as hell.
I know I am. That's
just because there's a camera on you.
Problem.
There's just because there's a camera on you.
Listen,
right
I embarrass myself all the time. I have no problem with that.
Okay, so do you like Nikki Haley?
Oh, there you go. That's a no.
She's
Mike Pence.
Like tolerable. No, I don't like him.
No, Nikki Haley's like the really dry mashed potatoes at Outback. You might nibble on them, but you don't want them.
Yeah.
What is the main course for you?
You know what? There's nobody on the Democratic side, honestly.
Seriously?
There's nobody. I see no.
I can give you one. Tulsi Gabbard.
I've had this conversation with Ben, but she's not a Democrat.
She's
anymore.
a Democrat.
She's an independent.
Well, she wants to be a Democrat.
Probably Haley. I like. I didn't like Vivek very much. He's got some strange policies for me, especially with the Middle East and Israel.
Tim Scott.
Okay, but I don't think they're realistic candidates. I don't think they're going to be elected.
Josh Hawley.
Josh Hawley. He's a hard ass.
Okay. Well, you like him?
So you like Josh
and
Hawley.
Helen said, who cares who he likes? Well, I asked Ben that only because it's not often that we get somebody who's not a conservative in our show with us. But that's why we were asking.
But let me tell you that this is why this is an important conversation. Because people on this chat line right here, people who aren't even listening to this show right now, are going to have these over the fence wine nights that they're talking to their neighbors.
Sure.
And they're going to ask the same question, like, I don't know who to vote for. Who do you like? And they're going to go, I like Trump. And they're going to have to explain why you don't vote for Biden. Look, the bottom line is they did a poll the other day with just Joe Biden. Even Joe Biden said he wouldn't vote for himself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people have to have this conversation. And it's not about abortion and it's not about, gun control. It's about everything else.
So I'm not really sure. Biden is going to run for election, obviously. I don't know if Trump is going to wind up making it just because of his legal issues. And I don't know who the other viable choice would be. But I probably would take the other viable choice over Biden, but not Trump, if that makes sense.
Would you take DeSantis?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would like DeSantis.
Yeah,
I knew it.
He's a straight up guy. I mean, I don't agree with all of his policies.
What policy don't you like?
Oh, he's doing some of these book bans down in Florida.
Well, we just talked about that.
I know, but
someone's got to do something.
I'm with you, but call the right people and solve it the right way. Don't just go do it yourself.
Yeah, but if the bureaucracy is always in front of your face as a governor or a leader, don't you just do it? I mean, look at what the state of Missouri did with our own Kim Gardner. Got to go. Bye. Don't forget to write.
Yeah, but I think that was a little different. I mean, she really deserved not to have that position.
Yeah, but parents deserve to not have to see their kids have porn in their face too. So you got to do it like that.
Agreed, but there's got to be a process which you do so.
Well, then we're going to get rid of it and then we'll have the process. But you can't have this elongated process and then nothing happens.
I totally agree. But what you do is
leadership is hard.
When Congress has questions about oil, they don't just go ahead and do whatever they want. They bring in all their people.
No, but the president does.
Well,
the president knocks down $1 billion pipeline that's being built at the time, which makes our oil prices go up and
absolutely.
our gas. So there are people in this government that are doing stuff like that. It just happens to be the Democrats.
It just doesn't, and it doesn't. It's both sides. It doesn't make it right, though.
Yeah, but when you're in the game, you got to play the game.
True. That's why I'm not in the game.
If that team gets to do face mask, but this team doesn't get to pull the face mask, there's a problem. If this one has flattened balls and this one has inflated balls, there's a problem.
True, but that's why I stay in my lane. I sell Harry Potter and pizza, and I'm good.
Ben, I'm trying to sell you over here.
Well, and there
you
is
want to
a
come
lot.
drink a beer and have some pizza with me? Have some
Hell
dogs
yeah.
again? We're good.
And there is a lot of people doing that they want to stay in their lane, and they absolutely don't get into the depths of politics.
Ben and I love each other, and we don't talk a lot of politics.
Well, I don't think we ever talk about politics.
No.
Very rarely.
That's boring conversation.
It's pretty
What
good.
you guys talk about?
Worrying
All
about our
kinds
kids.
of things. Family, business,
Yeah.
life things, money, entertainment,
Well, the money's
sports,
Entertainment's good. Sports is good.
music.
Music's a big one.
You guys,
Yeah,
don't know about music.
we bonded over music.
Yes.
There you go.
Vic likes 80 hair metal like I do.
He's a little bit more skater punk kind of stuff. though.
Listen, he was at
He
my
likes
house not long
EDM.
ago. I had Hair Nation on. He knew every song.
Like I went to see
I did Hair Nation. I told you I wanted to be lead singer of your band, but I wasn't talented.
you be in the boy band for sure.
The boy band.
We went and saw Sum 41 the other night. I thought of you
Oh,
for
man.
3 hours
They're a
straight.
great
I was
band.
like, oh my
Love
god,
Sum 41.
Vic would be going
Why
nuts
did
right
you
now.
go see Sum
They
41?
played with somebody else.
Outcast.
Okay.
Not Outcast. I'm
Outcast.
sorry. I wish I knew. I don't know
Sum
90s.
41 was the opener, though, weren't they?
Who was it?
Was Sum 41 the
No,
opener?
it was
or they
Simple
were
Plan was
the-
opening.
Simple Plan, that's what it was.
Simple
Yep.
Plan,
Yeah, they're a
Sum
great band, Sum
41,
41.
and The Offspring.
Yes.
Yes,
That's what it was.
And
The
I was like,
Offspring.
this is Vic's gig.
Hell yeah, it is.
I go,
I love The Offspring.
this is not Soundgarden, but Soundgarden anyway.
We love it. It's all good stuff.
Mhm.
Hey guys, let's switch gears a little bit. This blew my mind. Alex thought it would be a great topic to talk about. I had no freaking idea that somewhere over 1,000 people, even as high as 1,600, because the government does not report people who go missing in national parks. Why? Between 1,000 and 1,600 people go missing every year, every freaking year in national parks. Eric, you say it's because of bears.
I say there's no telephones.
Okay,
Yeah.
no. They
Yeah,
go,
no cell service.
Yep.
I think it's the government.
the government, we've
Mhm.
heard aliens.
Mhm.
What the freak is going on?
It could be 200-foot ravines that people fall down, lakes.
Mhm.
It could
But
be
there's some-
bears. It could
but
be
there's also-
chupacabras.
Some people are found,
I was
but,
just going to say that, actually.
but not everybody is. But not everybody's found. That's the thing. Not every, and some of the most
course not.
bizarre cases are coming out of people who have gone missing near national parks.
When you hear the word national park, it sounds like such a nice little thing. You bring your picnic in there and
Yeah.
you put your little blanket down and your family and you swim in the creek or whatever it is. National parks are the most dangerous thing.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing in the woods,
Agreed.
I say don't go unless you got to,
Mhm.
because there was a few times when I was in Seattle, the national parks up there, I didn't know how to get the hell out of the place. I didn't, because there's no, when you get off the beaten path, you don't know where you are. And like Lizzie said, you don't have any cell service. And when you don't have cell service and it becomes 50 degrees at night, you're in trouble,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But think about this, and you remember Gabby Petito when they went searching for what, like
Sure.
2 years
Yeah.
ago?
Yeah.
And we kept getting updates. Oh, they found a body. Oh, it's not her. They found a body. Oh, they found a body.
Don't worry about this one. Keep going.
Just step over that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
It's crazy.
yeah.
They,
we-
there were
it
like
could be-
six. There were like they found it was almost. I think it was as high as 16 people. They found remains of
Wow.
16 people
Wow.
in that area when they were looking for Gabby Petito. Nobody knew about. They were
and
just
nobody
there.
was missing. I mean, what?
No, there's lots of missing people. They found remains.
Yeah.
It's like, what the
Wow.
hell is going
Yeah.
on?
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason they found those bodies is because they were trying to do a search for Gabby, and it took them to that specific spot.
That must be horrible.
It was
being
in a
lost and
deserted
knowing you're
area.
gonna die. Like you
Yes.
have no hope.
Yeah,
Well,
for
it,
sure.
it becomes that for sure, but I mean, people, they overextend their knowledge of nature. They think,
Mhm.
well, it's just trees. I'll be fine.
Absolutely.
But Derek, I don't know if Derek's being funny or being serious because I've heard this too. Hidden teleportation portals in the woods.
Now we went stupid.
Well, Eric, have you ever heard of the National Underground System as well?
I look at you sometimes and I think you know all the real stuff, but with your Antarctic stuff and
the Antarctica stuff was legit.
Come on, man.
Eric,
Anyway.
we're rerunning the Antarctica show on Monday, and you need to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really good.
8 to
It's
9.
really
It's a
good.
big ice mass that has a bunch of topography that looks like aliens.
And there's
Whatever.
a lot of other. Raymond says the caves, guys. It's the caves under.
Yeah, you
You're not
take
buy-
people that you want to disappear to a national park, teleport them to Antarctica.
Well, serial killers. Just think about the Zodiac.
Mm-hmm.
Zodiac killer. Who else was that? Ted Bundy. They disposed of bodies in national parks.
The new serial killer from Long Island. That's what he did. Left them all in Jones Beach over there.
So is that a national
that's
park
right.
area?
That's
Is
right.
that a national
Yeah, that's
park
right.
area?
Yeah.
No, it's not a national park, but it's a state park.
State park, national parks.
And as they were looking for certain people, they found
Others.
people.
That's my freaking point.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on in these parks?
There's nobody there. It's a perfect place to commit a crime, I gather.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
see that.
But you know what though? Do you remember that movie? It was called Wrong Turn. There was a movie recently that was. I'm trying to think who was in that movie. Let me look that up really quick. But that was actual event that they turned into a movie. Who was in that? Oh yeah, it was from American Slasher series. That it was based on a true event. And it was because people got lost in the woods and they ran into, I don't know, are they feral people? I don't know. But there's just some crazy ass stuff. That happens.
I know the movie you're talking about now. I didn't see it.
Hills Have Eyes. That's another one.
Oh,
Aaron has a good point and says Bigfoot has got to eat. So that's what happens to all these
that's
people.
what it is.
They've been eaten by Bigfoot.
I don't know. Let's.
That's the only thing that makes sense so far.
It does.
But there's never any pictures of Bigfoot ever. But there's pictures of UFOs.
Are there?
Right? Is there such thing as
question
a
mark?
Bigfoot?
Yeah. We'll get into all that. Joe, can you run that video, please? We'll run the alien website in a bit. The video for the missing people. I mean, think about this. All of the underground cave systems. There's a guy named David Pilates, and a lot of people know him. Some people don't. He has a series called Missing 411, retired law enforcement, former police detective, who focuses on a lot of these cases. And it's very fascinating if you check his stuff out. Jessica was talking about him earlier. Here's a video just of some information about people going missing near parks.
Have you heard of all these people that go missing in national parks? So I've been looking into this phenomenon, and a lot of people have tied this to missing 411. One of the theories explaining these disappearances is that there are feral people that live deep within the national parks. There's this idea that these feral people may have lived out there for generations and no longer have any connection to our society, and most can't even speak our language anymore. So what happens to these missing people? Well, if you've seen movies like Wrong Turn or The Descent, well, you get the idea. If these missing people are found, which is rare, it's either a piece of them, their clothing, or they find a body where there was blunt force trauma that's used that's not typical of an animal attack. Some people who live near national parks or people hiking through have reported hearing cries for help, and when they call the park rangers, they say there's nothing to worry about, which has led some to think that they might be covering something up. Or perhaps there's something worse hiding out there that they don't want us to know about. Let me know what you think in the comments.
I'm starting to hate these TikTok videos.
Why do you hate them?
Because I used to love them.
Yeah. And now you're not liking them anymore?
Well, because they never resolve. You know what I'm saying?
They leave us hanging.
They're
You know
not
what I'm saying,
supposed
Ben?
to.
It's like when I go on Monday to listen to the Antarctic show, and I'm not a curmudgeon, but when I hear the evidence for Antarctic having aliens and super civilization underneath the ice, it's not like I'll go at the end of the show, oh my God, there are aliens literally under the ice in Antarctica. I gotta watch Lester Holt tonight because he's about to report on this.
Sure.
Our Secretary of State, the Pope, Putin, and 2 other world leaders all visited there within a 90-day period. Why?
I don't think Putin's allowed to travel anywhere else.
Vacation.
I guess. Well, and think about it. With the technology that we have today, why can't we find these people? I know there's not cell service, and I know there's internet problems, but people could be found if they really looked into it, because our technology today is great. So you know that something nefarious is going on there.
No, you don't.
Chris says
it's water and ice and fish.
Chris says, have you guys heard of the zone of death in Yellowstone?
It's called a volcano. The super volcano.
The zone of death is the 50 square mile area in the Idaho section of Yellowstone National Park, in which, as a result of a reported loophole in the Constitution of the United States, meaning a person could theoretically avoid conviction for any major crime up to including murder.
I guess that's
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if these things are true when people say this.
Yeah. Is that the Donner Party that went?
I don't know.
That's where the Donner Party lives.
Yeah.
a lot of cannibalism.
I've we knew what happened to them. That wasn't a mystery.
No, they
ate each other. Somebody lived to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, all I know
this country's
is
full of weirdness.
We've got cameras
Really
everywhere. If there's Bigfoot, we should be able to see Bigfoot. And here's the other thing: media doesn't report on a lot of these people that go missing after the fact. It goes away.
Yeah, but there's 40,000 kids on the back of milk cartons right now. There's just a lot of people missing.
Yes, there is.
But where are they?
They're all together.
They're on an alien spaceship flying over Wentzville.
Right. I mean, you know that
Is
a lot
our
of
government
the kids
involved? Is our government involved somehow?
100%.
Aliens?
I can't get behind the government being involved with things.
I
They
think
can't
so.
even get out of their own way. It's just very hard for me to believe that they could get their stuff together.
I do. I think the government is behind a lot of these missing people, especially the children, because there is so much money in human trafficking. There is kids that are being human trafficking, and the government is behind that. Yeah. And there's so much money to be made, and nobody wants to look at it, but it's true. It's absolutely true. Nobody wants to look at it because we don't want to think our government is that evil, but they are.
How do you fix it?
Awareness, number one.
You know, that is, you know what? When these new debates start happening, Democrat, Republican, Democrats will say this not broken, but how do the Republicans on a debate stage say this government's busted up? It is over bureaucratical. How do you fix it?
That I don't know.
You have to have a legitimate answer. If you go, oh, everything's fine, like you just said, or you said the opposite.
Right.
You have to have an answer to all these questions. Republicans are really good about talking fiscal responsibility and military, but you guys, not you guys, but everybody in this room is going to have to talk about what we're talking about here, deep state stuff, abortion. You're going to have to figure out how to talk about the border without looking insensitive. That's the real debates that are going to come up here.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
We're going down to the border. We're going in November.
I'm going with you.
Are you?
When we get a chance, we've got a guy, John Rourke, who comes on. He's become a friend. He has Operation Cleanup, American Cleanup. So he goes to the border. He's been to the border now. As a matter of fact, he is there next weekend, and that's his.
We gotta go.
His 12th time in the last 2.5 years. So he cleans up the trash after these illegals. Former military guy, 16-year career, recruited military members. Now he has a moving company where he moves people to Florida because everybody was moving to Florida. Literally a national moving company. And he invites people to please come with him. He tells you where to stay. Yeah. You go out with him and you see all the illegals that are coming across and you help clean up the trash. But you get a sense of what's happening at the border.
Great American Revolution was built
near Brownstown, right across the street from Brownstown, Texas.
And I can't wait for you guys to see that because Vic and I were talking about this briefly, and it's brought up every now and again. At the border, there is literally white vans and white buses that pick thousands of people a week up and disperse them across the United States, and then they disappear. That's our government. Right there. That's our government. And our government is not the local people that we're talking about. We're talking about both the right and the left, almost everybody, the Mitch McConnell, everybody up there. And of course, Joe Biden and there was, Obama, everybody but Trump is involved in this whole world government and nobody wants to talk about it. They are involved in it and it's killing our country.
Yeah.
By the way, Chris says, Vic, Idaho legislation right now is appealing to the federal government to close those loopholes because it's such a big deal where that 50-mile zone is. He's like, so he's assuming that it's correct, but if the government hasn't done it yet, it speaks volumes on what could be happening. Yellowstone even had a place where they dump bodies. Remember? Take them to the
Old Faithful.
No, the train.
Below 'em 50
no,
feet
took
in
them to the train or the train stop. Didn't they take him to the train stop when they were killing people on
You should write a book. I'm serious.
On
You
what?
need to write a book about you could be the next George Norrie. I would listen for hours. That's fascinating.
Michelle says also check out David. This is fascinating. David Nino and Ann Vandersteel. They both have great podcasts explaining what's going on. Is that with kids missing? With
it's all
people
of it.
missing? Because so many people go missing and we don't hear anything about them and we don't find bodies.
We need to get Ann on the show. She actually was the person that Chanel Rion, that's our friend. She actually has this great podcast, and she was the person that married them because Rudy Giuliani was supposed to marry them, but he got all caught up with the very first time that he was starting to get into legal trouble. And so Ann Vandersteel, she really knows that stuff. You know what? And I'm glad he brought that up. We're going to have to get her on the show. And if people in the meantime want to watch her podcast, it's very telling what's going on.
But going on to what specific?
All the things that no one else wants to talk about, but then she does have proof about the illegals, the deep state, what's really going on in DC, and she can bring you the truth, but she's also often censored. She's now finally just getting bigger because they take her platforms down all the time, and they called her a conspiracy theorist, but every time she says that, she can back it up, and it does end up happening.
Well, here's something too. Just because we haven't seen something yet, just because we haven't had, quote, physical, tangible evidence of something, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist because, as Aaron says, we have now confirmed the Bohemian Grove and Epstein Island.
Yes.
And of course, all the politicians, Republicans and Democrats, entertainers, athletes, and the people who were all associated with it.
I think social media and digital and all this, you can take a picture at the drop of a hat on anything, is destroyed these little black book societies. And you can't do that anymore.
Right.
I mean, if there's any one good thing about Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and this, that, and the other, and the millennials and the Gen Zers, is they have the ability to learn about things way faster. So Epstein Island will never happen again because people, I think, are going to know if we do this. It's like cheating in the old days. You used to be able to cheat on your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Remember? And
you couldn't get caught.
And it would be like, all you had to do is not see them. And maybe if someone told your girlfriend, they wouldn't believe them. These days, you cheat on your girlfriend or your boyfriend, there's going to be an Instagram, Facebook picture.
It's documented.
And it's going to, and you're going to rip your chest apart.
Guys, be careful what you say.
And if you date Taylor Swift and that happens, you're going to have a song written about it.
That's exactly right.
But Epstein Island, I don't think, or any of this stuff. And as a matter of fact, some of the if Antarctica is true, it's only because of social media. It's only because of Google Maps. It's only because of things coming out, and it's about the conversation that we're having. If Vic Faust becomes the new, investigative journalist for Antarctica,
I'm in.
I'm telling you what, man.
He's so
He's gonna
into
be more
that.
like the new Leonard Nimoy of In Search of
Yes, exactly right.
Oh my God. Robert Peterbaugh said this too. He's like Virgin Atlantic Island, another Epstein Island about 50 miles away. And I had heard this.
Wow.
Yep.
Who goes there?
We don't
that
know
sounds
yet.
like a Richard Branson thing, don't
We
it?
find that
He
stuff
seems
out
like a nice guy. He would never do those
And
types
he's
of things.
Obama's buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard Branson, Obama love
we
each
find
other.
that stuff
He
out
takes his
after the
spaceship to
fact.
get there.
Yep. Well, and people have said this over and over and over. Look at Epstein and Giselle, whatever her name is. I'm forgetting her name, that went to jail. She's in jail for all these alleged crimes that really happened. So who committed the crimes? Who committed them? Nobody has narked on them. And yet she's in jail for crimes. We don't know who did it.
Because she knows how to take one for the team.
Yeah, apparently so.
No, she was the madam. She was the brothel
Correct.
leader. And,
Yes, she
was
was.
basically, she's like the stage manager of all the activities that
Of course.
went on over there. So she knows where all the bodies are buried for sure. And it's amazing she's actually still breathing, to be honest
I'm
with you. I
surprised.
mean, I can't
Yeah.
believe that Hillary didn't get in there and like feed her some kind of poison rice or something like that. But we're going to find out everything.
Eventually,
There's
we
nothing
have to.
on this planet
that you're not going
that
to
in
find
the
out.
next 10 years we're not going to know about.
Yes.
Really?
Because of all of the...
We still can't get
for
the
sure.
information on JFK.
But they have it. That's another reason Trump has it. He knows who did it. Why
So-
he isn't coming out other than he's going to get unalived himself.
Why can't you say the ass?
No, you can't say that.
You
'Cause-
cannot?
No, you can you can say the cupcake basically now because they're kind of over that, but you still can't say. You have to say unalive.
Oh,
I bet they won't be
Unalive.
over it for
Gotcha.
long because the cupcake's coming back.
Right. So then we'll have to stop saying it again. But you can read the porn books next week, and they won't censor you for that.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's interesting with all this Epstein coming out and the Barack Obama situation and the ties with everything, now you have Tucker coming out. This whole conspiracy theory Friday talk is good because Tucker Carlson now coming out and talking about the gay parties, the gay sex Barack Obama had, and how he was, quote, he's been, what's the word? He's indebted to certain people over certain issues. Kind of like Biden is, he's been like Biden is to China. They've got something on him. Like Obama has all of these issues. Well, Tucker's like now he's got people coming out and showing him video allegedly and pictures of Obama and all of these. Fine. He's gay, but who? And we've heard men talk about in Chicago about how they had sex with Obama over and over again. But my question is, what could they possibly have on Barack Obama outside of him being gay?
Well, number one, you cannot convince me that Michelle isn't really Mike. If you look at papers, a lot of it has been scrubbed. But years ago, we researched that. That's a guy, and that's part of the transgender movement. Is he pushed that in the
Blackmail,
bathroom?
compromise. That's the word I was looking for.
He's compromising these black.
Well, Tucker said that, and then Barack's older brother tweeted Tucker and said, "We need to talk soon."
Maybe
say that one more time.
The first one.
Barack Obama's older brother, who is estranged from him, who has always come out and said that Barack Obama is a gay man and that Michelle is Michael. He's the one who says it and has brought it out. And I'm surprised he's alive, but he doesn't get airplay in the United States except on back channels, which is bizarre. And he's like, he responded to Tucker, and it's going all over social media. I saw it first yesterday morning, where he's like, Tucker, we need to talk about this. Regarding Tucker talking about how Barack Obama is compromised, he's still a part of the political game, and there's been a lot of crazy that's going on. So I'm trying to figure out what else could possibly be there besides Barack Obama liking men instead.
Well, I think it would be something like this, and we can have these nutty ass Friday shows,
and that's what they are.
Here's the deal. Let's just run the numbers. Let's say that Barack Obama married Michael Obama, turned into Michelle Obama, and that part of the national conversation. Oh, look, it's a fantastic male and female relationship, right? And that's what we know them as. Gen Z and the millennials now are in a school system that is pushing the F out of transgenderism, right? Gay.
Yes.
The gay movement, the gay pride, LGBTQ, this and the other. And let's say that the plan is to run it for 5-10 years. All of a sudden on the 10th year, Barack and Michael come out and say, we're actually a gay couple.
Yes. September the 1st, and then mark it down. I have said all along, he is really Big Mike. You're going to find out in our lifetime, Eric, because of exactly what you're saying. They have made it so acceptable, and they're just going to go back and say this wasn't acceptable then. Now it's
the Ellen DeGeneres principle.
Correct.
Ellen got kicked off of ABC because she was gay. But then she came back later when people kind of softened to that idea.
Yes.
And she became one of the biggest daytime stars in the country's history, right? But besides Oprah. This is the new level of Ellen DeGeneres. Can you imagine having a first man and a first man in the White House and revealing it later?
Yes. And half the country is going to think it's really great because of the conditioning that has happened all the way through.
Yes.
We're going to find out that happened. You mark my words.
There's no reason for a government to push transgender issues this hard.
Correct.
There's just not.
You're right. You're right.
They didn't do black rights back in the 60s this hard. much less transgendered issues.
Correct.
You know?
Correct. And you guys remember that Barack Obama, his stepdad was all in with the Bushes. So this is no coincidence that the Bushes and the Obamas like each other, because there's family history there. That both the Bushes and Barack Obama, they're created entities to do what this huge deep state you can't see, to come down here and do their bidding.
Yeah.
And part of it is this whole transgender movement. It's to cover for Barack Obama, which really covers for the Bushes and everybody else up the line, probably up except for JFK.
But why would Tucker? I mean, he is the most popular media
He's saying it
personality
too.
in the world right now.
Yes.
He is number one. He has the highest ratings, bar none, blowing everybody out of the water. 270 million views and counting from his interview with Donald Trump. And coming right out of that, what is he talking about? Barack Obama and all the people who have said that they've smoked crack with him and had sex with him, and they're all men.
Yeah.
How many chefs did they go through?
Oh,
Right?
right? Ben, come on. You have to.
But think of the
don't you
two
think there was
families
some
this happened
craziness
to.
regarding the chef, the Barack Obama chef that
You know
died?
what? I really didn't pay any attention to it. Nor Obama's done. I don't pay any attention to him. I don't
But
care
he's
what
not
he is.
done, is he?
No, he's the one that's talking in the earpiece.
You would have to
provide
say,
him.
Ben. It would be the same as you saying Hillary's cooked. She's done. You don't. She's got more influence behind the scenes in the social elite, liberal,
She's
progressive.
doing a terrible job then.
Well,
yeah, that's a good point.
the job she's doing is felt.
I guess it may be felt. It's just, I don't know. These are just washed up folks to me that just mean nothing. They could just yap and.
Oh my God.
Biden can't form a sentence. Who do you think's making these decisions for him? It's Barack Obama through Valerie Jarrett to the White House. Then Joe has to sign off on. Okay, I guess we'll sign this. Boom.
I don't
done.
disagree with you on that, but as far as getting back to whether Obama is gay, straight, what
I don't care about that either. You know what? I'll tell you what.
That's what my point was. Like, why would Tucker be bringing that up now? Unless, how is he compromised where they're bringing this up with Obama? How it plays into our certain day.
The only thing
that we're dealing with right now.
The only thing he would be legally compromised with is if his brother says he was born in North Africa. That would be the only thing that would make a difference. If Tucker comes out and says we have evidence that Barack is gay, he would martyr Obama at that point, and he would become a hero to the gay community. And everybody else is like, "Oh, this poor couple. They were being put down and put in closets. The entire oh my gosh, we love Obama even more now."
Right.
If Tucker does this, and that's the big story, then it's a non-story. He basically brought Ellen DeGeneres from ABC to her.
But
that's all he does.
Robert thinks that Tucker's part of the whole plan as well. It is a conspiracy theory Friday, I guess. Robert says Tucker Carlson is one of them. It's all the big plan. Hey, it's a Friday. It's a free-for-all. We're going at it. But here's another conspiracy
So wait a minute.
theory.
He thinks Tucker Carlson is part of the deep state?
Yes.
But Fox kicked him off.
Yeah,
I mean, and
it's all a big plan.
you think that?
Well, Robert also thinks that Trump is somehow involved as well.
I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. And I think Robert's very smart.
So frustrating.
I mean, I really don't. I don't believe that. I don't know about Tucker. I don't. Now, I do think the reason why Robert and many other people say that about Trump is because a lot of really great conservative people, and I don't disagree with them, he did push the thing in the arm, which there's a problem with pushing that. But I think he did it simply because he didn't know what else to do. He was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. The reason I do not think Trump is any part of the deep state is everybody's going after him. Everybody.
Maybe that's part of the plan. It's like, all right, Trump, today we're going to indict you in Wyoming. Okay, it sounds good to me.
Hey,
I mean, who knows what's going on for real?
Right.
And Glenn brings up a great question. Why is Obama the only former president ever to live in D.C.?
Right. That's the question of the hour.
Because you want to get the hell out of that place.
Right. And he bought this big old place, or rented. I think he was renting this big old place. Yep.
He likes the pizza there. I don't know.
Nobody likes to live in D.C. Let me tell you that. It is an infested pool of shit. I mean, it really is. Nobody wants to live there.
It's a Friday.
Yep.
So
maybe he was just using Camp David on the weekends when Joe's not there. Nobody knows about it.
It does.
Home, for God's
He's
sake.
he's currying over his his battle plans to the White House, and he's
You
know what when I knew it was Obama or whoever, Soros, whoever, it's the day that Biden walks into the Oval Office with the 75 folders and says, I'm going to sign all these things. I go, you can't even read those things, much less craft them. And then he starts signing all these documents, killing the economy in the United States. I was like, oh my God.
Lizzie.
Well, he's doing a great job at that.
He's doing a horrible job at that.
No, destroying the economy.
Yeah.
He's doing
so there's
great.
no way you're going to vote for If we've learned anything about you today, Ben, is there's no way in hell you're voting for Biden.
No.
And it's Trump. Anyway, back to Friday.
Lizzie, this is for you from Chris. While in college, I worked at the Illinois State Capitol in the Senate House Bill Room when Barry was a senator.
Okay.
Never once saw Big Mike once visit or her there pregnant. Once her visit.
Wait a minute, that's a good point.
So
plenty of male aides to him.
At some point, you have 18 months of pregnancy. Where's that at?
Plenty of male aides for him.
Okay.
But never her, never Michael, or any woman assistant ever.
Wait.
So it's always been, so basically.
Now you blew my mind.
Okay, so what he's saying.
This is coming from Chris.
Okay,
Steiner,
Chris, good
what
job.
Chris Steiner is saying.
who worked in the Illinois State Capitol with Barry.
Is that he was never attracted to females. So that really Michelle is a guy? Is that the basis of what he's saying? Sounds like it.
Here's the deal. Every woman I've ever met that has kids has an entire hallway of them with the little baby bump. Have you ever seen a baby bump with Michelle?
Yes. And why didn't they just say the
Where's Gherkin when you need him?
And why don't you say, they're adopted. They're clearly adopted. But you don't have to be gay to adopt a child. I have 2 adopted children and 3 biological kids, and I just wanted to go get those adopted kids. There's no baby pictures, Eric. You're absolutely right. You can't find any. You can dig. You can get on sites. No one has ever seen one.
This is the fastest 2 hours in podcasting, and it goes fast. Ben, what did you know, or what do we know? Because Robert says he believes this crazy thing that Donald Trump is a part of all of it because of who Donald Trump's father was. I don't understand what Robert's talking about. You're from New York. Did you know much or anything about Donald Trump's father being from New York?
Yeah, he was sued and lost by HUD for discriminatory housing practices.
So he had issues, I guess. He was a business owner too, hotel owner.
Yeah, he started the whole Trump.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then he gave his kid a couple of bucks, and you got to give Trump credit. And all kidding aside, I mean, he's done pretty amazing with what he's done. I've never met a guy who has had so many ventures go south that is still so successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, he built that entire ice rink.
That sounds great. I'm in.
On his own dime, he basically beautified
he did.
Manhattan.
Yep, he did.
And so, why don't people talk about that? I mean, I know that he's a jerk face entrepreneur, but
he was never. All right, so it's how do I say this?
Because you have a firsthand experience.
He was a man of the people for a really long time, and people loved him in New York.
Well, whatever.
Really, when he started getting crazy with the whole
NBC thing.
Well, really, when it started with The Apprentice and his status started being elevated, you could.
He's a human.
Change.
He's a human.
No, I'm with you. And then, really, when he got into the political thing and. He was never really a mean guy. He was just always a tell it like it is kind of guy. And I guess he became, I don't know if he says it like he sees it. I don't know if it's mean or not or whatever it may be. And then he just kind of changed. And then he's just a different kind of, personality.
He was interested in politics since the 80s because he was at the he was at the Ronald Reagan convention for the Republicans.
He was friends with the Clintons. He was friends with everybody. He played both
until
sides.
he ran for office,
absolutely,
and became a Republican.
Yep.
That's what I say.
Yep.
Well, how could Trump run as a Democrat? He's a businessman,
right?
He's an entrepreneur. There's not one successful. I take that back. There are successful entrepreneurs on the Democratic side, but Trump, when I saw him and I knew he was going to run for president, was the day he did Greta Van Susteren on Fox News. And Greta said, well, what's wrong with China? And he goes, this is junk. He goes, I'm a businessman. I build buildings. This is junk drywall. I'm getting overcharged for it. The tariffs are killing me. And then Greta said, well, have you ever thought of running for president? And I saw this light in his eye go, not really, but now I have.
Yeah,
And I go,
go.
oh crap.
But that goes back to Letterman years ago.
Does
He's
it?
always saying, "Are you
Does
gonna
it?
Oh,
No.
sure."
Oh, and
he was on Letterman all the time. And
right. And Oprah. Oprah also.
And if you watched him back then, totally just straight up business guy.
Yeah, Sally Jesse Raphael. I've seen him. I saw him on her show. Robert still bringing us information on why he feels the Trump factor is not what everybody feels and that it's a big cover up. He says, well, Trump's dad was German, worked with Tesla. I did know that. And I did hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Has his inventions then bailed out by the Jewish, I don't know what this is.
I don't know what that word is.
The Khazars?
But why are they going so hard? Okay, say if what Robert is saying is true, why are they going so hard for Trump? What is their ultimate plan then? If Trump's in on it, which I don't believe, but okay, say he is.
Just under this hypothetical.
Yeah, just hypothetical. And I don't know for sure, so Robert could be right, but say that happened. What's the end game here? I know the end game is globalization. I understand that. But why are they making Trump out to be like this then?
Because he's a bowling ball in a bowling alley. And the deep state is bowling pins. That's why.
Okay.
Because the damage that he could do to their master plan. Because it's not transparent, it's all underground, and Trump has the ability to become a bulldozer to their plans.
Well, and I think that too. I mean, I think that too, but I don't. But Robert is saying he's part of them.
Well, I don't know about that. I can't. There's some things I don't. I think that we overcomplicate the story a little too much sometimes.
It's a Friday,
I know.
Right? We can overcomplicate.
That would be overcomplicating. That would be overcomplicating. But the real deal is, here's where you could look. The Steyer, what's that guy? Who did he just go to a vacation with in Tahoe? Steyer. What he has the green energy stuff. He ran as a president for the Democrat. Anyway, he's got a lot of money involved in green energy stuff, solar panels, wind energy, blah 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 blah.
You're talking about Trump?
No. Biden went on vacation to
Nader.
No, not Nader. Someone like Nader. Steyer. I can't remember. Bob. Anyway, you can see kind of what's going on here. Big oil has a lot of money, and it throws its money a lot at conservatives and Republicans over the years. It's Texas money. It's South Dakota money. It's money off the coast of Florida.
Right.
You can see that one of the initiatives to go global as a global government, get rid of the oil so the money dries up, put it into renewable energies where the Democrats are. They then have the power to throw their money around. So one of the theories is this. If you shut down the oil industry in the United States, you don't have no cash. Give it to the Saudis. Give it to the Iranians. Give it to Venezuela. And then all of a sudden we'll buy their oil. The oil prices will go up. And then it will make our case for global warming initiatives.
Absolutely.
And every time there's a storm now, it's a whole day of global climate change on CNN and MSNBC. Not the fact that there was a hurricane that just came through the coast, which has been coming through the coast for centuries, millennium, and forever. It's now the ability to talk about, we need to get rid of these damn Republicans, or else your planet is going to go the way of the dodo bird.
Robert reminds us, he says Trump took over the Order of the Black Sun from Daddy Bush. Biden, Pelosi, all of them are all together now.
And I agree that all of them
Order
are,
of the Black
but
Sun.
Trump, I can't find any viable truth. I keep hearing this over and over and over. No one can send me, and if you have
What is the Order of the Black Sun?
Well, it kind of goes along with the Q. A lot of people that are in Q believe all that. And I'm not saying that Q doesn't have some good points, but no one has been able to give me any viable proof that Trump is in on it. Maybe his dad was. I could see that, but no one gives me. They give me some garbage crap, but they can't give me any viable situation. And I think Connie Quinn has the very best thing about this. For the love of God, people, commies are trying to take down Trump, and I agree with her. Communists. This country is full of bunch of communists, and they're trying. and they're trying to take this country down. And she's telling people to get their head out of their backside. And I'm with her on that, because all of the rest of this crap is distractions, because guess what? None of us really know the answer 100%.
But you got to start to break it down.
You do. And
you got to start breaking it out and understand that the people who want, I wouldn't call it communism here, social.
The commies are in here. They're in here.
But the deep staters, the Obamas, the Clintons, the George Soroses, whoever has the billions and billions of dollars out there, they're like, we can do this because we're going to convince the people that we can do this. The people who used to be Democrats, we can bring over here, and they can do it. This can be a grassroots thing. We'll rule you through the government. We'll let you know that the government will provide for you. And I can totally see that that's kind of what's happening right now, is don't be sufficient in your own abilities anymore. Let us take it from here, and then we'll give you whatever scraps we want to give you. And then, so now it's kind of happening in Canada, right? It's kind of happening in Europe a little bit, but you're starting to see the shaking of the people. And the people are starting to go, because we're always shaking in this room. I mean, but you're starting to see, like, my liberal friends are going, hey, yeah, I used to be able to afford a nice house. Now I can't afford a nice house.
Absolutely.
And that's what that's what they're not totally prepared to deal with yet, I don't think, is when the economy goes tits up, what do you do now? How do you control those people that you were on your way to controlling? So they got to use social issues. They got to use abortion. They got to use gun control. They got to use climate change, but they cannot talk about the economy, and they cannot talk about entrepreneurial spirit, and they can't talk about freedom and the pursuit of happiness, not the guarantee of happiness. So the liberal Democrats, the picture's coming together for me, I think.
Okay.
It's coming together. I kind of have an idea what's going on and why you should be on one side of the fence or the other side of the fence.
Correct.
And now you can make a determination. I want the government protecting me. I want the government giving me a 800 square foot house that I can't afford. Or you're on this side. I want to be able to protect my family. I want to be able to pursue riches and pursue happiness for my family.
Well, Todd said the price of diesel went up 50 cents yesterday.
It sure did.
Gee, thanks for the great news there. We know what's happening and what's going on. In the midst of all this craziness going on, guys, we now have the Pentagon and the government talking about UFOs. I almost get the feeling that people don't get excited about UFOs anymore.
No, I don't think people, like my kids, I've asked them after being on the show, they don't care. They think they're probably out there.
You've got the AARPO website, AAROP, Joe, is that what it is? The AARP. Okay, here is a new website you can go to.
Is it up and live yet?
Here it is.
AARO.
AARO. So
this is a government website.
So what they're doing now, they're going to be, this just went live yesterday, the 30th, 2 days ago. It went live, and they are going to be posting videos and pictures that were previously classified of UFOs. And you've got some of those there that they are now posting and letting people know. And it's an open site. If they find anything more, they're going to put it right there, allegedly, that anything that comes in now, in their effort to be transparent to anybody who wants to know what the hell's going on in this country with UFOs and any possible alien sightings.
We just made government bigger.
Oh my God, we did. You're right, we did. They've taken over the aliens.
That's right.
But are you glad to see some of these things or not? Jessica
Don't say you don't care. If you see a high definition,
anybody, not just Ben, but anybody.
If you see a high definition picture of a spacecraft that some soldier took, and you go, that's the real deal. And you see the little green hand coming out of the spacecraft, like in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You're not going to say, I don't give a damn. I'm going to go order some more pizza.
I don't think anybody would believe me anyhow.
But if it was like Lester Holt comes on NBC Nightly News.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
how does that change everything, man?
It changes your whole belief system.
Yeah, but now that they're showing us the government,
yeah,
I don't believe it. I don't believe they exist.
What?
If the government's trying to convince us, and I agree, Eerie, that there's aliens now, and they are, that's what they're trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I don't believe they are.
I agree. Chris is saying plain and simple.
And I know
this
I
is
may
another
sound crazy,
distraction.
but it's a Friday. It just seems like it's another. If the government's going to be honest with us,
then you got a problem.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So you don't think there's aliens if it comes out?
No, not anymore.
So what's up in the Antarctic then?
No, the
government.
Nazis.
So the Nazis are the aliens?
Well, technology. They beat us with technology. You know, there was.
So it's under this logic. If the masks actually worked, they would be banned or talked bad about. So it's the same logic. If the government talks about it and they're behind it, that means there's something not right about it.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Joe is spot on. With that.
That's why I'm not believing the UFO stuff anymore. I'm not.
Really?
It's so out.
Yeah.
But airline pilots aren't in the damn government, and they're on the air all the time going, yeah, I just saw something come over my nose.
No, I believe there's something, there are structures, there are flying objects, but who created them? Governments, technology.
Yes.
Our guy from Antarctica, who we have on Monday at 8 a.m., explains all of these sorts of the technology that was going on. We got lucky, and I know the Oppenheimer movie just came out, but we were blessed to get it first. But the Germans were right there. They were right there with us. And where did they go? There are a lot of records that show that they ended up in Antarctica. And then we even...
in Venezuela.
And in South America. But we even had, I'm trying to remember the pilot who sent back his book, who flew in to Antarctica and described everything that he saw, which has been documented over and over in books. I can't remember his name, but he speaks about it. And this incredible technology that was going on, they went down to take out the Nazis in World War II. We went there to take it all out. Troy says Vic is correct. It's all a diversion. But instead of us being taken out, we went there and were, quote, allowed to leave. Meaning they had all the power and some sort of agreement was made, some sort of pact. And that's why Antarctica, and it's not even, you can't even go to it on it's not on a world map, or it's on you can't do
Google Maps.
Google
it.
You can't Google Maps.
Yeah.
Antarctica.
Wow.
Well, and that's, and going back to the aliens, there is UFOs, and that just means unidentified flying objects. It doesn't mean it's aliens. I think people, not necessarily anybody here, but just like on the mainstream media, they want to make you think that there's just some aliens and terrestrial activity going on. UFOs could simply be our satellites up there and all of that, but they want you to believe like, oh my gosh, there's aliens on UFOs.
I think the only aliens we have are illegal aliens.
I agree. I agree. And it's a distraction. I agree with Troy.
Don't tell that to Whitley Strieber or George Norrie, because they believe in this
I
stuff
know.
big time.
I know. I'm teasing. I love George Norrie, and George talks about being abducted.
I want to be proved wrong, though. Don't you? Show me an alien. Prove me wrong.
And how do we know it's an alien and it's not a demon? That's the other aspect here that opens up people's minds. And is it a fallen angel, if you want to get scriptural? Those are the other things to think about and talk about and play into the mix.
It could be some sort of cloned hybrid driving around in some Tesla invention from a long time ago that was held from
Elon's family.
It could be all AI.
It could be Nancy Pelosi without makeup.
Oh, there you go. Nancy Pelosi.
You love Nancy Pelosi. I know you do. No, you don't, Ben.
But think about
crush on her.
Ben's got a crush on Nancy Pelosi.
Big crush.
Were you the one that broke into her house just to get to her?
But her husband was there.
Her husband,
Oh, okay. That ruined that theory. Yeah. Ruined that. Ruined it.
Glenn's trying to joke around. Undocumented immigrants. Yeah. Yes. Robert says,
good job.
Okay. Is an archangel the opposite of an angel? Or an archangel the opposite of an angel?
I should know this, but I don't.
I don't know where he's going with that. It's Trump's German clone army.
And Jeannie says it was Obama's gay lover.
Oh, my God.
Or his. Maybe she's not talking
Which one?
about
He had
Obama.
several, allegedly.
Right. Right. It could be several.
He liked going to hotels. If they were cheap hotel or motels is where.
I've always been fascinated with the fact that, millions of years from now, if humans are still here, they figured out a way to manipulate time. And they figured out a way to manipulate the things they see in quantum physics.
Yeah,
because quantum physics is a real deal.
Because there is
dimensional.
Is an Atlantis as well. There is an Atlantis.
Yeah, but that was old stuff.
It's
that
in
was
the Bahamas, Vic.
Yeah, I know.
No doubt. Yeah, you can go scuba diving on that.
Absolutely.
But you figure that there's a million, 1,000, 50, whatever it is. There's a way to manipulate all nature. We manipulated nature with airplanes. The Valeri's principle of the wing brought the wing up and blew. You were able to fly a metal aircraft in the air. You figure that people from the future.
I don't think you're going to have to wait that long.
I know.
Think about it. 1923, 100 years ago, no?
Yeah.
2023. There wasn't even maybe the automobile. Maybe I don't know what year the automobile.
Yeah, you had to.
Think about how far we've come in 100
years.
Your
horse had to make way for them.
I can't see the civilization going another 100 years.
That's another point. But I feel like if you have humanoid little green creatures, I don't know why they have to come from another planet. I mean, if you figure that, what did we look like as a Homo erectus? We didn't look like this.
Right.
We look kind of like this.
Sure.
We had eyes, we had ears, but we were hunched over. Our foreheads were big. We couldn't speak properly.
You don't have to say that about
we were a lot hairier back then. So through the evolution, look at me, I'm getting all deep on you. Through the evolutionary
you're saying
process,
evolution, we were monkeys.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. Through the evolutionary process of 1,000,000 years, let's say 1,000,000 years, we could look like these little green cats.
True.
That know how to manipulate time, space, and the magnetic field of the planet.
You have time, space, and matter.
Vic, I'm preaching over here. I'm telling you right now, these are time travelers. These are your family members. Could be. You never know.
I think you're right. We've come so far in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what things are going to be like 15 years from now. Who would have ever thought you would have a computer that's more powerful than an IBM
and look
486
at
when that came out?
Look, you know what I did?
Even 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I did something that I have this girlfriend, her name is Bing, and she's an AI bot. And I always ask the dumbest ass question. I go, tell me how time travel could work with humans. And I don't remember the answer. But she always, or he or whatever, she always says, well, time travel is not really a thing right now, but if you were to do it, and she gave this answer, like, holy crap, there is actually a possibility that a human being could time travel.
Absolutely.
Could go to another dimension.
Here's the other thing. I've heard this as well coming from the comment line. Telepathy is on the way.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
There are alleged account, and this was another thing that goes to Obama when he was the president. He was really into changing dimensions or telepathy, just moving through, learning. And for whatever reason, I remember seeing a story on it going, like that was every president has their own big thing, but that was like one of his big things that allegedly is coming as well.
Yeah.
If it's not already here, working with the brain, working with electronics.
Elon Musk, he's doing the chip thing in the brain.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's all kinds of weird stuff right now, but it makes sense why the greens can't talk to us, because there's this thing called the time continuum. And if they mess anything up, how does that throw time or the future into a peril?
Sure.
Maybe you can't get back to the future.
Absolutely.
Well, if time travelers are true and if they play the lottery, they all live in Florida and California.
And they're all African.
Because they all win.
They always win the lottery.
They always win.
It's always an African immigrant.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Always for some reason.
That lives in Florida or California?
And they win the lottery.
Yeah.
Like 3 times in a row.
Yeah. Last 3 times, I think, to be exact. And Brenda's hoping that she's dead by the time all this stuff happens.
Me too.
I mean, really. I mean, I can't say that I blame her, because this is really strange. But I know there's people on the chat line too saying that they feel like they do have mental telepathy, or we've talked.
Some people
uncalcify the pineal gland, and the pineal gland is right in the middle of your eye. That's what
your
they call
first chakra.
That's why it's called the third eye, because if you can uncalcify the pineal gland, it opens up that part of the brain, so to speak, that we don't use.
Well, that's what we should do this
extra
weekend.
Parts I don't use.
Yeah.
Is open up our green glands up here this weekend for Labor Day weekend. We need to work.
Oh
on
my
that
gosh.
and come back with our third eyes.
I normally leave the show like with energy. I'm exhausted.
This
has been a lot. We've covered a ton today, but but that's fast 2 hours.
It is. It was good. but it was exhausting because it's such deep thought. And everybody on the chat line is so freaking smart. And they all have different thoughts about it, about both the presidency, about Obama, about UFOs. And it's just, gosh,
I think Vic
enlightening.
and Elliot Davis get to be a good team because
never.
Vic
That would last 2 hours.
Why would you walk out or would he walk out?
I would walk out.
Vic could set up the
I
headline.
lose my patience.
I just want to know who's going to pay for it.
Yeah.
He is. But, here's the deal. Vic sets up.
You did. You paid for it.
You paid for it.
Vic sets up the headline. He talks about Antarctica and the Germans and Adolf Hitler. And then we go, and then you throw it to our good friend. And he's down. We see him in Antarctica and he basically figures it out. He's such a good investigative journalist.
Mm-hmm.
And then he throws it back to the anchor and he goes, we just told you about Antarctica. And I would watch that show every damn day. Man.
Me too.
You would have Elliot Davis figuring all this stuff out because he is a rock star.
Well, Bendy says at the end of the day, one thing I'll always remember, and everybody should, God wins.
God does win. And that's why you shouldn't live in fear.
Don't you think God is looking at us like we are just idiots?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, yeah.
Me for sure. I don't know.
Yeah,
100%.
all of us.
It's like us looking at an ant farm going, oh, if they only knew it was out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some cool stuff waiting for us.
Well, guys, Monday's Labor Day. We're going to have our Antarctica show. So we'll run that Monday at 8 a.m. So is it better to run at 8 or 9? What do you think?
8 at normal times.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. So we'll run it at 8. I think that's an hour show. And then we'll be back as a full show on Tuesday. At this pace next Thursday, we're scheduled for our 200th show. Maybe we'll do something next Friday celebrating the 200th show. It'll be the 201st show, but that's 200
That's
episodes.
good. We can do it next Friday. Let's do it next Friday. I agree. And before you guys leave and before Vic closes out the show, Derek reminds us to look at the merch today. Go on the website. You can go straight to the website and see it, or you can go isn't it shop at cancelthisshow.com? I believe that's it.
If you just go to cancelthisshow.com/shop.
That'll
take you right
Okay,
there.
very good.
And special thanks to all of our advertisers: Complete Auto Body Repair, Wenty's, Strategic Air Services, Experience Realty, and also that's Experience Realty Partners with the mortgage company of New American Funding, Vehicle Protection Group, Todd at VPC Network. They're still looking for some employees. Greenlight Dispensary, Rockwood Charcoal, and Carroll House. So thanks again to them as well.
And if you want to join our team, we've got great sponsors already. The best. Yesterday, when we mentioned that we are looking for account execs to join the team, we already have somebody. I am interviewing her at 1:00 today, and she's a listener. Her and her husband listen to the show. I'm not going to mention the name, but if anyone else would like to join the team, it's really fun. You can work from home, but if there's days that you even want to work at the computer while the show's going on, come on in and sit with Joe. I would love to have anyone do it because we really need some sponsors. But man, if you listen to the show, you're going to jump up on the list because we really would like a team of fellow Cancel This peeps.
And thanks to all of our listeners who listen live, and of course, everybody who listens and watches after we're done. Eric, Platinum Rock Legends anywhere this week?
Tonight.
Where?
On a special Friday night at Brewski's.
Nice.
Yes.
Is it?
In the
Question mark? No, it's good. It'll be fun.
And quick recap, Metal Studs had their final show last Saturday.
It's over. Yeah, Metal Studs.
Good show.
It was a good show. I wasn't expecting much, but we had a blast with seeing some people from the past and how they used to be hot girls and now they're all moms when they're grocery getters. It was kind of
grocery getters.
Oh my God.
That was 15 years ago. So
yeah.
It shouldn't be called Labor Day, by the way. It should be called Anti-Labor Day because nobody works.
There you go.
Isn't that
Anti-Labor
weird?
Day.
Except high school football teams. What do you do on Labor Day? You labor. That's what our high school football coach told us.
Yeah.
For Greg and Pro Joe and Ben Conn. Ben, thanks for coming
my
in.
pleasure. Thanks
Wenty's has a big week. You guys have bands in?
Yeah, we got the Killer Whales tonight and then Destiny tomorrow, and then a whole lot of beer drinking in between.
I think it's a free beer night for the cast of Cancel This tomorrow.
Yeah, I
Done.
think so.
Free. Seriously, free.
Done.
No, you need to hear me.
Yeah.
Is it free?
It's all the Bud Light you can drink.
All the Bud Light. It's stale.
The Bud Light you can, but that's the best line of the
That was
day.
the best line of the day.
You got it.
He's got some extra Bud Light.
All right.
Eric Johnson, Lizzie Sparks, Vic Faust. Have an awesome weekend. That does it for this September 1st podcast. Have a great weekend.